Welcome to an all-new episode of Figure It Out. Today's episode is actually brought to you by the good people over at Toytastik. Make sure you guys follow Toytastik on Instagram, Facebook, and their website. I will be posting the links in the bio for all your toy needs. They just had a Galactus Pop figure giveaway that someone just won today or yesterday. But make sure you guys check them out. Like I said, I will be putting their info down below. But we appreciate the people over at Toytastik. But
my biggest question, Juwaan, is do they have Transformers and G.I. Joes?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Toytastik, they know our taste, Pete. They know to have the good stuff over there.
Well, they sound fantastic. Unapologetically intended.
Toytastik. Exactly. They sound toy-tastic. But we do want to thank the people over at Toytastik. So make sure you guys check them out. Now,
I need more Masterpiece toys, people. Come on now.
Yes.
I will be hitting them up, and I will check out their Instagram, their Facebooks, their websites, everything, because Christmas is coming. Now is the time to buy all of your friends and fellow nerds toys.
Yep. And they were actually at New York Comic Con, so whoever out there went to New York Comic Con, you probably ran into them. Pete was there. But no, we do want to thank the people over at Toytastik, but I do want to introduce our panel today, starting off with Joel. What's up, Joel?
What's up? I apologize if I'm distracted.
What game is on, Joel?
Knicks Bull.
Pete knew, Joel. It's okay, because I'm going to be completely honest with you. I'm not even looking at this screen, looking at you guys right now, because I'm watching it. But also, Pete, what's up, Pete?
What's up, everybody? I knew there was some sort of sports ball thing going on for you guys. So. Once the Yankees are out of the running for baseball, I'm like, I don't care anymore. I'll see you in spring for pitches and catches.
I love it, Pete. I love it. Yeah.
The only thing that matters to me, truly, the only thing that matters is if the Yankees lose, the Red Sox have to lose as well. The Red Sox always have to do worse.
Yeah, they're out. Really. The Red Sox are out, but I'm living in a personal hell because the fucking Braves are in the World Series. So it's just like, fuck.
Yeah. It's Braves or Astros right now, and it's like either way.
That's either way, a really shitty series.
Yes, it is. Goodness, the series is so.
Our apologies to anyone out there from Houston or Atlanta, but we just don't like the teams.
No apologies. No apologies.
It's like fuck them.
Yeah, 100%. Braves are in my division. Super fuck. But anyway. Actually, now I'm realizing with YouTube's algorithm, I don't even think I was supposed to curse to open this show. But anyway.
No, you can. You believe it or not, as someone who, I kind of like the expression fuck isn't even a word. It's a comma to me.
Yeah, come on. Yeah.
You're allowed the first tier on like strong language that just says abbreviated language. You can drop as many fuck bombs as you want, but beyond that, like, you know, there are other words that I guess they deem worse. And as long as you're not doing it literally in the title, you're good.
Okay. All right, cool.
I have never in all my language have had to like go down the tier. And that's saying a lot.
No, because it's a twofold thing, right? Because they're saying now there's a lot of sponsors that don't want you to curse to open the show.
Well, fuck them too.
We don't want you, no.
and YouTube has that, so it's kind of like I got to try my best now to where it's just like, all right, I don't have to curse to open it. I can curse in the episode, just not to open it. You know what I'm saying?
You want me to like wear a muzzle or something? Like
no.
Whatever works for you.
I'm gonna be completely honest with you. You do not curse as much as you think you do. We podcasted, me and Joel, with someone back in the day who I believe you could make an argument curse more than you did.
Really?
Yeah, the cursing was so bad, we were starting to lose audience because it was just like, well, I don't even know what other words you said that weren't curse words just now. Like, I don't even think you said hello. You know what I'm saying? So, no, I can promise you, you are nowhere near as bad as you may think you are.
Fair enough.
You're not.
We've been through worse.
Yeah, we've been through worse. And it was really bad when my cousin, who's super religious, were getting people in her church to listen.
Oh,
it was just like, oh no, you should have told me that. You should have told me you were going to do that. It's not for them. It's not for them. Not at all.
That actually happened to us too. Ramon is very religious, and his pastor decided to watch at some point. So it's like, ooh, I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, no. I just had to get my grandfather okay with the idea of like, if he hears me curse, he knows it's part of the show.
The show, right? Right.
Like I'm not just walking around the house cursing. You know.
I'm just remembering 3-year-old Pete learning how to curse from his grandmother, and that's kind of exactly what happened.
I'm gonna be honest with you. My mom's side of the family, it was like it was the only way you could be part of the family is if you knew how to curse.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like
how to curse.
Right. I saw kids get thrown out of the family because they couldn't curse. And it's just like, what are you? You're not one of us. What is this?
Who are
you? Right. Who are you? But all right, let's start off with Toy Corner. I got some figures to show off before Pete gets into kind of telling us what he enjoyed about Hasbro's latest event, which, by the way, Hasbro, I know it seems like you are like exclusively Marvel, but I would really love for you to work with DC for like 2 days so DC could make better action figures. That's it. I just need one solid Bruce Wayne Batman figure, and I'm good.
So, you don't like the Todd McFarlane series?
No. You know why? I'm going to be completely honest with you. The way Hasbro does the flexibility of their figures, McFarlane does it to where it's almost like a step down from a statue. To where it's not supposed to be movable whatsoever. You're supposed to put it on like a mantle, which is fine. Which is fine for the people that enjoy that. No problem. For me, if I can't bend you, I don't want you.
I understand exactly what you mean. That was a big problem for McFarlane when, back in the day, he was doing some of the later Spawn figures, and then there was that whole line of just dragons that were absolutely dope, but you couldn't really play with them. Like you said, it was like just a mini statuette thing. There were a couple of poses, maybe you could turn a head a little bit, but nothing more.
Yeah.
I don't have any experience with the McFarlane DC run right now. I bought the Batman Arkham figure, which I think I showed off on the show a while back, but I still haven't opened it, so I don't know how, posability and whatnot.
I mean,
I was wondering if that was an issue.
Yeah, they had a multiverse line. And I showed you guys on this episode before, the Dick Grayson Batman. And the figures are so bad. The head is on a very thin ballpoint, right? So when you remove it, when I removed it like a week ago, the ballpoint came off with the head.
Oh, shit.
I hate them. But all right. Let's start off with, I just got this from GameStop the other day. What the fuck is, there's a toothpick. Why do I have a toothpick with my, my Spider-Man No Way Home Doctor Strange figure.
That's cool.
No Way Home Strange figure already?
I didn't realize that, I didn't realize the figures were out for the movie already.
Oh, they had a full line a month and a half ago. Miles Morales, J. Jonah Jameson, Shriek, 2 different Spider-Men, and someone else I'm forgetting. But yes, what I love most about the Strange figure is the cape is indeed removable.
The jacket.
And it's right. And the Eye of Agamotto is indeed removable also.
Does it say if it's fake or not, man?
You know what's crazy, Joel? And again, you know how much I look into things, Joel, that are just like so dumb I shouldn't even look into it. I did find it very interesting that this was removable. Because for most figures for Doctor Strange, that is not removable because as we know, he does not take that off. So this being removable, I kind of looked into that as there might be something more to Doctor Strange, like everyone was saying, that I refuse to believe. So that's the first one up. Second one up, Joel, because you recently saw this movie, you should recognize her the quickest.
Shriek?
There you go.
No, she looks nothing like that, so I would not recommend her like that.
No, I was trying to pull it close because of her eye. I thought that would get you.
Luckily, I do know what she looks like, and I'm like, either that or Domino, and I'm not sure.
And I did get a new updated, well, not updated, but another Spider-Man figure from that No Way Home line, and that is his Iron Spider suit.
Ooh. That's cool.
I don't know if that's Iron Spider anymore, right? That's the magic one, right?
I don't know. The magic one they're saying is the black one.
No. That's the black and gold suit, right? Yeah. That's called integrated, I believe, right? That's not what the box says.
Yes. Well, then no. Then I think this is still the Iron Spider. Well, I'll say this, Joel. If it's not the Iron Spider, at least from the trailer, it still functionally works like the Iron.
But it doesn't have the.
You can tell the design is different because see how it's all gold plated.
Yes.
So the Iron Spider is gold outlined.
Right.
Yeah, so a gold spider in the front with the gold outline as opposed to a gold plated spider in the front. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
They definitely look different and like the wristbands and things. Yeah. It's definitely designed like the Iron Spider.
There you go, right there. That's what I was talking about.
Yeah, right, but if you look at Iron Spider, you can see the difference.
Right. And I do like it because you guys know I got this figure before. So sometimes I just plop good old Tom Holland's head on there for this new suit. Plop his head.
So the figures are kind of like the heads are interchangeable, even though that's clever.
So what do? You rotate them every month or something? Like I don't understand.
Yeah. Don't let it get too old. He might like Tom Holland's head on him, Also, I'm digging deep into this because I'm really interested in this line. I never got into it before, but I think I'm gonna start doing it. I started getting into the Black Panther line.
Oh,
that is Claw.
Oh, that looks nasty.
That hand looks really freaky to me, man.
It does.
That's like that's like some Cthulhu type shit, man.
And now this is the one thing I want to curse out the Black Panther line for. The one figure I really wanted was Okoye. But Okoye is a Build-A-Figure. And that is the one thing I hate from Marvel Legends. And here's why I hate that she's a Build-A-Figure. Because they gave me the Dora Milaje with interchangeable heads as an actual figure, but not Okoye. I'm like, well, why wouldn't you make her Dora Milaje the Build-A-Figure? So I got Okoye's head that came with the next figure I'm about to show, but you have to actually build her in order to get Okoye.
I don't see the logic behind, Okoye's thin. The Build-A-Figures are usually of something big and bulky.
Right.
At the very least, wouldn't it have been Umbatu? Like, wouldn't that have made more sense?
He is part of, because the Black Panther line is split. So there's one half of the Black Panther line that builds M'Baku. There's another half of the Black Panther line, which is weird because Submariner is part of that line. The Invincible Iron Man is part of that line. And someone else weird is part of that line that builds Okoye. Stupidest thing. And here's the craziest thing. To go to your point, Pete, the Doctor Strange and Spider-Man figure that I showed, guess what the Build-A-Figure is for that line?
I saw it. It's something weird. Remind me.
Armadillo.
That was it.
Yeah.
Armadillo is the Build-A-Figure. I have half of them, but it's upstairs somewhere.
Yeah, they're really they're scraping the bottom of the barrel for D-listers right now.
They really are. And if you guys can see closely, that is the Dora Milaje that was ready to beat Natasha's ass in Civil War.
She was also the one in
Falcon Winter Soldier.
Yeah, Falcon Winter Soldier.
What's her name?
I can't remember her name to save my life, Joel.
Son of a monkey's uncle.
Which is frustrating because
Ayo.
Box. Ayo. There you go. It doesn't even say their names. It just says Dora Milaje. That's it.
Is that her name, or are you just trying to get his attention? Because that's some New York shit. Like, hey yo.
That's why Bucky never forgot. It's like that's pretty simple.
Yeah. I'll remember that from now on.
But last but definitely not least, the one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend, Chadwick as T'Challa.
It's a cool figure.
Yeah, they have four of these Black Panthers. They have his father that comes with the African garb. They have the Civil War suit. They have this suit, and then they have this same suit but with the purple outline. Building up the
I think the purple.
Energy.
Yeah, the purple.
That's dope.
Yeah, and they have one of Killmonger in the getup he had when they first went to go rescue Claw, and then they have the actual Killmonger in the Black Panther suit.
The Golden Jaguar suit.
Yes, and this is him with the mask.
That's dope.
That is dope.
Which I rewatched the movie, and they made sure they paid a lot of attention to the detail of the mask, because the beginning of the movie's mask is drastically different.
Oh yeah.
Than when he suits up.
The second suit looks more like a cat.
Right,
like,
exactly.
You can see like the snout almost.
Yep. And I love how I didn't even notice this when I saw it in theaters. The scene where he stops the truck and Claw kind of falls out of the truck, the eyes go up. So like it shows his actual eyes. So like the lenses kind of go
up. The lens go up.
Yeah, and I was just like, that's such a weird thing. but I never noticed it before. It's just like that's a weird thing to have when the mask can just kind of come off of your face. Right. But no, so that's all I got for the newest figures. Hopefully I can expect some next week before our next show. But that's all I got. So these are pretty cool. Oh, that's what I wanted to tell you, Pete. So for this Doctor Strange, he's the only one of the Marvel Legends that does this, and it's just irking my soul. So he can only bend this far. This is it, right? There's a ball point here. Now, if you look at the Spider-Man from the same fucking line, he could bend in a million different ways. I don't know why they made this Doctor Strange that way. I guess they're saying because like Doctor Strange only uses magic, so like he doesn't need to be flexible,
right?
But it doesn't move. And I do want to.
I'm just wondering if that big ass belt gets in the way of the movement.
Right, maybe. Exactly. And I was just about to say, Hasbro, I know you're not known for doing this. I know. I know you're not known for doing this for the Marvel line, usually the Star Wars line, but start going cloth. If they have capes or anything that come this far down, go cloth. Because you did it with your Star Wars line, but you don't do it with your Marvel line. And it's just like, the plastic of it is just constricting.
At the very least, they should do that flexible plastic that actually DC was doing for a while.
Yes, I'll take that. It's just like, you can't get it to, if I wanted it to stand, like somewhere where I'm showing off all my Marvel Legends figures, it's fucking impossible. Because, you know what I'm saying? I hate it.
I had that issue with the Doctor Doom figures. They're very static. Like they stand there and they look cool, but there's just no, posability really besides what they're doing.
And they make you have to buy, for anyone out there that like has these figures, it's like, well, how do you get them to be in like posable situations where you could show them off, like hang them in put them in a case or something? They do sell the plastic pieces that you put the figures into. And then you can pose them however you want, and they're now in that stance. I wish they would sell that with the figures, because it's just like, well, those things are not that easy to find. The little holders to put them in.
Perhaps Toytastik can help us with that.
Look at that, Pete. Look at the product placement. That is actually what I'm about to go message Toytastik about. But anyway, Pete, do you got anything new this week?
I do, as a matter of fact. So I actually I had an order placed on BBTS, but they were taking entirely too long. And as I was running around my local comic shop, Royal Collectibles out in Queens, I turn around and I'm leaving. And I'm like, well, are these priced? I can just one of these, and so I managed to pick up the NECA Gargoyles.
Oh, that's cool.
This thing is really freaking cool.
Pretty.
Comes with an extra head.
Don't say it on here. Message me how much that costs, because I need it desperately.
Okay. He even comes with a little jalapeno.
Comes with a jalapeno.
Yeah. That was his thing. Like when they discovered like jalapenos, it was like, wow, it's hot jalapeno. Like they said it all weird and funny. Yeah, he's got some cool ass wings. He comes with that magic book whose name escapes me at the moment. That was like when they were like traveling through time to like Avalon and everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, very excited to do an unboxing for that.
Oh, I can't wait.
But I have spent a lot of money on toys this week, gentlemen. A lot of money. I first want to give a really big thank you and I'm sorry to my buddy Andrew Bozzetta, who was steadfastly monitoring the Hasbro Pulse Con on Saturday for the G.I. Joes. It was basically going on all weekend. The G.I. Joes were really like the thing that was the only thing that concerned me.
Right.
But as it turned out, when the Hasbro premium members were able to buy things for an hour beforehand, and then the public was allowed to get at them after the hour. So I'm on Target and I'm still on Pulse looking at the waiting, I should say, for the Tiger Force Outback special and the Python Patrol Viper and Cobra Bat. I was not happy with the Cobra Bat being a Python bat, but it's a Cobra Bat. I'll take any one I can get. And they are also releasing a standard, all black and gold bat. So just waiting on that one. That hasn't dropped yet.
Right.
But anyway, I'm on Target, nothing. I said, just for ha-has, let me reload the Hasbro Pulse site. I like to see what was selling out, as fast as it was. And they popped up. I was like, oh shit, I thought these were going to be on Target. They're on Hasbro. So I really quickly ordered them. I popped them in my cart. And when I went to place the order, I said, I have free shipping. So apparently I joined Hasbro Pulse as a premium member some time ago, and I don't remember doing it.
Wow. I wonder why, Pete.
Listen, man, the memory, the yesterday machine is not so good anymore. Anything in the last, 5 years or so, it's gone. The way back machine works just fine. But so I will say that joining Hasbro Pulse was the best thing that I didn't know that I did until I did it. So thank you, Andrew, for getting me all of the other figures that I thought I'd missed, like Crocmaster. Crocky was pretty quick to sell out. Spirit, Storm Shadow, those all looked really fantastic. They were awesome drops. And I managed to get the Tiger Force and the Python Patrol stuff. And then after PulseCon, Hasbro did another shit just yesterday. They're 10/27. I don't know why they did that. They just decided to.
It now.
Yeah. So now that I know I'm a Pulse member, I got the email, and I must have been just ignoring those emails. And I'm on there and I'm watching it, and that's when they dropped the Cobra Officer, which is one of the newest additions to. He's a little bit different than the Sniper and the Standard Trooper. He's got a silver Cobra emblem. He's got some different looking helmet, and he's got like a vest jammy thing going. So I picked up one of those. They did advertise the new Alley Viper. They showed the photos and everything. He looks absolutely fantastic. That orange and blue kind of urban camouflage. I don't know where the fuck you're hiding. You're dressed in orange and blue. Maybe at a Knicks game or something. I don't know.
Probably.
But it does look really dope. That did not drop yet. So waiting on that one and the Cobra Bat, but everything else looks absolutely fantastic. I think the highlight of the show for me was, without a doubt, was finally getting that original, first edition, Generation 1, whatever you want to call it, the 84 Storm Shadow. And so, finally, because last time was just the Arctic Storm Shadow.
Right.
They also had a whole bunch of Marvel Legends figures, not the least of which that awesome Captain America went on sale, and I hope you got that, Juwaan, because it was quite available for a while on Hasbro Pulse. And if anybody didn't get it, it's sold out on Pulse, but it is on Entertainment Earth. It's on Big Bad Toy Store. It's on a bunch of stuff. And I'm sure Toytastik will be able to get a hold of it for you, too. There's the classic Loki. Actually, I think just dropped today or so. They've got a Mr. Sinister on there. They've got, along with that retro cap, they've got a retro Iron Man with a little pointy helmet. That was really cool. The White Vision, that Winter Soldier, that classic looking Winter Soldier with the knife and the he doesn't have that stupid big ass Buster rifle gun that just was pointless. He's got a normal ass looking gun. They have a retro Scarlet Witch, which is really cool. Yeah,
you were talking. Right. Just to go back, you were talking, because I'm trying to remember. You were talking about the dual Captain America, right?
Yes, he comes with the Steve Rogers head and everything. He's got that. It looks like an action shield because there's some energy stuff that goes around it.
Yep.
There's the one that I don't know if it was you or JD that was talking about it a couple of weeks ago, and it dropped during
the event,
PulseCon on Saturday.
Right.
So I did pick up one of those. I was a little choosy with the Marvel Legends figures because I don't have the room for everything, and I'm already collecting entirely too many G.I. Joes and Masterpiece Transformers. Right. So, I have to limit myself to only like my absolute favorite ones. But I am still very much on the fence with the three new HasLabs, one of which doesn't matter to me, but for you Star Wars fans out there, they have a Rancor. The Rancor has been on for maybe a couple of weeks now, and it looks really cool. It's definitely going to get funded. It's a dope looking figure. I'm not sure how much that is. I can actually look for you right now. But they also have the Sky Striker. Okay, the Rancor is $350. I'm not quite sure how big it is, but let's find out. I guess we can take a look at this right about now.
Well, you're looking for that, Pete. Oh no, yep. Go ahead if you got it.
It is 17 and a half inches and has the ability to extend. I'm not sure how that's going to work, up to 27 and a half inches. So that's like maybe like it gets up or something. And it's like normally hunched over. I don't know how it's going to work. I didn't watch the video because I'm not a big Star Wars toy fan. Right. But the Sky Striker is so dope looking. The only reason I'm on the fence is it's because it's still for the 3 3/4 inch Joes, and I'm not really collecting that line. No. At first, I thought it was the classified. I'm like, I don't care if it's $600. I bought a fucking Thunder Tank. I'm gonna get the Sky Striker. And then I was like, it's standard size, so it's just like kind of an updated version of the original, which is really dope. But for you Ghostbusters fans out there, they have Egon's Proton Pack, and this thing looks amazing. They have it like opens up, and there's like the little nuclear reactor jammy inside. They just re-up their supply of they call it a wand. I did not know that. I would have just called it the proton laser thingy, but I guess wand kind of summons that up better. So the pack does not come with the wand. You have to order the wand separate, but that is on Hasbro Pulse right now for $150, and the Proton Pack is, I believe, $400, and it is ridiculously detailed. It's definitely going to get funded. I think it's up to like 8,000 backers already, and they've got just a storm of stretch goals, just like Kickstarter. If nobody's ever entered into anything from HasLab before, they have stretch goals for everything, and you just get more and more stuff. Right. It was an amazing toy weekend, man. And like I said, it spent way too much money because my anxiety can't handle that shit. Like Hasbro was just dropping like one thing at a time, and I'm like, order. And then you got to go through the stupid captcha, and you got to go through this and that, and I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna miss these things. Look, I got them all though. I did.
I can't blame you. I can't blame you at all, Pete. If things go the way I'm hoping they do, by our next show, Marvel Legends, the Wolverine 5-pack with Omega Red, Wolverine. Hold on, I have the whole cast here. Sorry. Omega Red, Cyber, Callisto, and Jason Wingard.
That's a straight up 90s Wolverine.
Yes, it's a 5-pack of them. And the only thing I don't like about this 5-pack is I don't know why. Wolverine is shirtless. I don't know why that bothers me so much, but it does.
Is he hairy?
Yes, he's very hairy, of course.
Do you have pictures of this guy? I didn't even see this. You gotta drop this in the chat.
Yeah, I'm sending it to you now. Where's the chat? Fuck. Okay. All right. I just got to copy and paste. So I'm getting that. I'm also getting the Sony Venom figure. The Black Panther I was telling you about the with the purple inside the black suit. Nakia from the Black Panther. The Killmonger, obviously, as Joel said, the Golden Jaguar. Was it the Golden Jaguar? What was it, Joel? The Golden what? Golden Jaguar? Right. Yeah. Okay. Shuri and the Killmonger, in obviously street clothes. So I'm getting those. So I'm with you on the $20. Marvel Legends is just like, $120.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, it's crazy, Joel? You won't find it a dime cheaper anywhere. Yeah, you'll find it more expensive, but not cheaper. I looked before I settled on that.
I was gonna say I might have to order one of these myself just to be
it looks sick, doesn't it?
Hold on to it.
It looks sick. The one thing I was upset about was you have a mix of the Hellfires Club in there. But it's kind of like, well, I would kind of like more of the Hellfires Club. I don't, some of the cyber.
I guess there's a lot of it's probably classic battles because he had one specific battle with one of the Hellfire Club. Where they pushed his ass all the way to the sewer.
I do love that they added Omega Red because that is the one thing that whenever we do get Feige's Wolverine, that's the first villain I want to see Wolverine interact with. The first. I don't want to see Sabretooth for a while. Just like Joel's like, I don't need Doctor Doom in a Fantastic Four movie. I don't immediately need Sabretooth. I've been there and I've done that a million times.
The first I want is the Hulk. That's who I want to see first.
See, okay, you know what? I get what you're saying, but I viewed that differently. I viewed that as if we're going to do Hulk solo movies, which if these rumors are true, it looks like we're going down that route. I'd like it in that space. But I just at some point just need Omega Red. Like that can't be left out.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all. I want to see more of the Winter Guard. I think he could be included in that too.
Hell yes. And we do know, Joel, that Fox was going to give us the Hellfires Club.
Hellfire Club.
That's what was coming after New Mutants. That's what they were building up to. That was going to be that kid's dad. The one that catches fire.
Well, Hellfire Club we got in First Class.
Right, yes.
And they were supposed to do a TV show about the Hellfire Club. That didn't obviously come to fruition.
I tell you what, a high society of mutants would be the dopest thing to fucking sit down and watch. It really would be.
I would love
snobbish mutants that look down on others is 100% what I want. I want that.
I just want to know if they do classic where they dress like a wig party and shit.
Oh, I need that, Joel.
Or is it just something up?
No. I need that. Please.
That's so weird. A choice.
I need
that. Speaking of classic X-Men, matter of fact, I forgot to mention this. This was a surprise to me because I didn't know they were doing this. Hasbro released the Marvel Legends X-Men animated series figures. Two of them dropped. There was the Wolverine and Jubilee. I had no idea these were coming. Yep. I picked up the Wolverine. I was like,
was my favorite.
What's that?
The Beast one was my favorite. They did you know Beast is blue, but they did Gray Beast. And they did Gray Beast, and I fell in love with that design. I'm like, I never thought about it before, but I like Gray Beast. You know what I'm saying? It was just nothing.
I think I remember, but that was a few years ago, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, these are like specifically like cell shaded. They look like kind of cartoony, almost to the idea of how some of the re-releases of some Transformer masterpieces were like cell shaded to look like the cartoon. Mm-hmm. Same thing along these lines. There's only digital renders right now, but they released the Wolverine figure and the Jubilee. They're on Hasbro Pulse now, and to my knowledge, they are not sold out actually. So you can go and grab a pair of those. I would personally love to grab the Magneto one. They're not expensive either. They're $27 respectively. So I mean, it's a pretty average price.
I'm gonna sit. Oh wait, actually, this 5-pack is actually cheaper on Amazon. Not by much, but cheaper. I just always get nervous whenever they say it's used and it's in very good condition. It's like, well,
yeah, I don't trust that shit either.
Yeah, it's like used.
What did you do with it?
Right, yeah. Your kid had it in its mouth. I know he did. I know he did. I know.
On a closing note for Hasbro for this weekend, the thing that really surprised me was the one that I was most nervous about was Master of Disguise Zartan. That was the one with like the 5 or 6 different heads, and he's got the Storm Shadow outfit and all of this stuff. I fully expected that thing to sell out like that, and it didn't. It didn't sell out until almost the next day. I think because Hasbro kind of knew that there was going to be mad scalpers after that, so they probably just had an abundance already either pre-ordered or pre-made or whatever it is. But yeah, that thing was people just grabbing that left and right for I think it was like $37, stock price or whatever. Yeah. There's a couple of people selling them now on eBay, like, oh, we've got it in hand. And I don't know how they did that. Maybe they just somebody at Hasbro or whatever.
They had to. Because I can't tell you how many YouTubers I see that are previewing a figure, I swear I just saw Hasbro said just dropped, and it's like, well, how are you reviewing it already? They just dropped it like yesterday. How did you get it? I don't like that. But no. So I just sent you the Magneto figure that I wanted from that Marvel Legends line. I love the design of that.
Oh yeah, it's the Agent Apocalypse one.
Yeah,
that is love that great.
Design. But yeah, no, Hasbro did a really good job, and for you Star Wars fans, trust me, I'm right with you. They had some really cool Star Wars figures. What's his name? The comedian that was in The Mandalorian.
Bill Burr.
They released his figure. Cool. His figure dropped. Would you say, Joe?
Yes, they did. I saw it.
Yeah, they dropped his figure. I do want to say I am curious because I'm surprised they didn't drop it now, but maybe they'll have another thing within the next few weeks. Hasbro's dropped a Marvel Legends line for each and every one of these Disney Plus series. And we know we're very close to Hawkeye. So I'm wondering when we'll get any mention of that. I thought it would be here.
So less than a month now.
Would you say, Joe?
You got less than a month now.
Right. So when Pete was telling me about the Marvel Legend, I was just like, oh, this must be when they released the Hawkeye stuff. Nothing.
No, not at all. Not a peep.
Yeah. So I don't remember if all the figure lines came out around, if not before or after the actual series has started. So I'm going to just be patient on that. But if any of our viewers out there, Peter, Joel, you guys hear anything about when that stuff drops, I'm pre-ordering the hell out of that line. The Kate Bishop and the Hawkeye. And I'm going to buy an extra one to mail Tia because Tia just loves herself some Hawkeye. She can't get enough of Hawkeye. Anyone that knows Tia knows she despises Hawkeye.
I fully support buying it for her then.
Yeah.
For reasons we still don't understand, but Tia does not like Hawkeye. And I think we got her to admit that it's more Jeremy Renner than it is Hawkeye. But the only reason I've ever accepted her dislike is because I don't like Anthony Mackie either. I love Falcon, but I do not like Anthony Mackie.
I did want to ask you if you were going to jump on that Falcon with the Anthony Mackie head. I knew that you would really want it.
Yes, 100% yes. Because again, in my mind, it's just Falcon. I have to blot out that it's Anthony Mackie Falcon, but to me, it will not. And I love that Chris Evans, even though they didn't do a good job on making it look much like Chris Evans, they did a way better job on Anthony Mackie. But yeah, no, I don't let that stop. You know, I bought the Falcon figure from I'm sorry, the Captain America figure from the Falcon and Winter Soldier. So my hate goes to some lengths, but not.
You have a very healthy outlook on it. I have to say that.
Yes, I mean I've only ever looked at the fucking thing once when I bought it, but I got it.
And it's in the back of the shelf too, like just sits
way
there.
Back there. It's it's behind Power Rangers. Like that's how far back I put this guy. All right. Let's get into something that I could not wait to talk about because it brought me to tears 3 o'clock in the morning watching this trailer. And that is the final trailer for the second half of the Masters of the Universe that Kevin Smith did. And let me just say, I loved it. I'm going to say my standout and go right to you, Pete. My standout is the line. And I'm going to say this. It's the line of the year where he's standing in front of Skeletor and he's saying, oh, you thought the sword was the only way I could do this. It's just the conduit. And he's just like, I have the, and it rains down on him. And he turns into like this beast looking He-Man or savage looking He-Man rather. Sorry.
Yes. Savage He-Man.
And I loved it, Pete. I was just like, oh, this is it. This is He-Man, bro. This is He-Man. And I loved it because a lot of people do think that his power does come from the sword. No, go ahead, Pete. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I don't know if I would call that quite a retcon or not, because in the 2000X series, you did see King Grayskull literally forging the sword, and that it's just a conduit for the power of Grayskull is interesting because it kind of harkens back to that scene in Ragnarok when Odin's like, "Who are you, Thor, god of hammers?"
Right.
Yeah, that's immediately what made me think of.
Which is funny because I think it's split. I think Thor's power is from essentially the hammer, but Thor does possess power outside of the hammer. I think the hammer just amplifies his power because it directs it to one thing that he could use, that he could actually point and use with his thunder.
Right. In traditional mythology, if I'm not mistaken, that he needed like the belt and something else to just control the hammer, because the hammer it was just a conduit for his own power, but he still needed like help with it.
Right.
I think.
And Joel, please correct me if I'm wrong. I believe in some of the comics, his suit with the balls on it, that with the belt is what was the conduit of the thunder, and it helped kind of just keep it so it's not just willy-nilly all over the place.
Yeah, that's exactly what that belt, especially. It's all like conductors on the chest plate,
right?
And then of course the hammer helps wield his basically Phelps focused. The power is still like one here.
Exactly right. Which I never was upset that the MCU never really paid attention to that. Even though visually it would have been cool if once Odin said that to him, you kind of see him take everything off and kind of just really let loose. Which they played around with a little bit, and then it was kind of just like, nah, he needs a weapon. But no, I love this trailer. Pete, did you get a chance to check out the trailer?
I did. I like first day, and I actually just kind of had it on in the background because I wanted to refresh my memory a bit. The thing I loved the most was actually getting to see some of the other characters that you didn't really get a chance to shine too much. Like, Ram Man, Buzz Off. I'm hoping to see Stratos. I liked King Randor actually running around in his original G1 accurate armor and everything. This is pure nostalgia for me. And the people who didn't like the first half of this series, I don't quite get the hate. Like, on one hand, I do. Oh yeah, well, it didn't have anything to do with He-Man. I'm like, what did you want? Did you want just half-hour episodic He-Man saves the day shit again?
Right.
Like, I liked the idea of Teela finally getting a chance to, show that she's a character that can lead the rest of the troops. She was captain of the guard for a reason. And what did she do half the time but spend her days getting her ass saved by He-Man?
Right.
Most of the time.
Right.
So I was very happy with the original series. I'm really looking forward to this one. There's a couple of things that I'm really hopeful for. One, there's that scene in the trailer where he fights the dragon, and it actually looks like holy shit, he uses the sword for something, like not just cutting through rocks and things. Like, I think he just killed that dragon. I'm really hoping to see Granomir. I think that would be really cool, like the original dragon of dark smoke. Mm-hmm. There's the scene at the end that really intrigues me, and I don't know if it couples with the final voiceover. They always do those like little stinger scenes right at the end of trailers where Scareglow is about to like axe King Randor, and something flies out and kind of wraps itself around the axe and pulls it off, and it just looks like a red ribbon of some kind. Right. Yeah. And then you've got Orko saying, "You guys are in trouble now."
Right.
I want to know what that's alluding to, because I will flip my lid if She-Ra shows up. I absolutely will. I don't know if they're going with that in this mythology. I'd love to see them do that. I'll absolutely lose my mind. I don't know how it would be She-Ra with a red ribbon, but whatever. I don't care.
Look, if you get She-Ra and it has a red ribbon, we'll accept it.
I am stoking the flames of this nostalgia engine, like just shovel after shovel after shovel, and sending that locomotive down the tracks. I am thrilled with this, and I love the toys too. Like, the toys are really fun, and I saw the I caught a preview of the Orko figure with the Savage He-Man, and I didn't realize until watching the trailer, because I saw the figure like a week or maybe 2 beforehand. And I just didn't think anything of it because I thought it was just a retro figure. Because when He-Man first appeared, before the cartoons and before the main toy line, in those little mini Eternia comics, he was just like a barbarian-looking Conan type dude running around in his underwear, no big, metal cross vest or anything like that. He was just like a barbarian guy, and him and Prince Adam were completely separate entities. So I thought that was like hearkening back to that. I did not realize we were getting that guy in this storyline. So I'm curious how they, work that in story-wise.
I was just really impressed that he had it. That's why I said when he delivers the line, it's just like, oh yes, like this is fucking awesome. Like this is amazing. And it's such a good fucking line. I always say this. There's nothing better in a cartoon or a movie than a cocky superhero. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's when superheroes, to me, get their coolest. Not when they're humble. Not when, I got to be humble. Fuck all that. Let him know you're the shit, Adam. You know what I'm saying? You don't need no fucking sword to whoop his ass. I loved it. I loved it. Joel, did you get a chance to check out the trailer?
Just now. Yes, I did. Yeah, I posted it when it came out, but I forgot to go back and watch it. But I love the first half, so the second half looks really cool. Like I'm really curious to see how that whole Savage He-Man thing plays out because he looks fucking brolic. I really want to know more about that. Yeah, like Hulk size. I'm like, okay, we're gonna see how this plays out. But again, like I've just like honestly, this has been a year of He-Man for me because like I never gave a fuck about He-Man aside from the movie. The movie, like I only watched the movie. I didn't like the cartoons, and the movie was the only thing I had connected to He-Man when I was a kid because I just watched movies most of the time anyway. So watching these, like I have a new appreciation for He-Man, especially the Revelation one. I did watch the other one. The one that's like you guys shouldn't watch it if you guys don't want to be completely like your past ruined. And
this is the new kiddish one, right?
Yes, they change a lot. It takes a lot. I mean, I don't because I don't care as much. So I was able to like digest a lot of it, and I did like the whole it's a team thing. I like that too. But they change a lot of shit, so you might not like that part of it. But
yeah, I didn't watch it.
I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it either. But I always told you, Joel, after you got me to accept Teen Titans Go, I'm way more accepting of things that I know are made for children. And obviously they have the freedom to do whatever the hell they want because you're applying it to 6, 7, 8-year-olds. They have no fucking idea who he is.
Then again, He-Man was built for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-year-olds back in the day.
Right.
But we were just, the 80s just made us tougher than these little pissants these days.
That is true.
Yeah?
You got to look at Revelation as more nostalgia.
100%. It's definitely for big dummies like me. No question about it.
And then this one is definitely made for modern day kids that can take that whole high energy, weird shaped new story. I mean, the story's still the same beats. You get a lot of the same characters. You get their real names and all this shit. But they gender bend some characters. They go right into certain things differently. You know what I mean?
I hope they don't call. I hope it's not like Ram Gal or something because that just sounds like a bad porn.
It's not. I forget what they call her. But it's But yeah, it's a girl now. Ram Man's a girl. And that's like one of the biggest one. One of the biggest shit. The rest of them I don't remember off the top of my head.
I think calling her Ram Woman is too direct.
Ram Girl, anything Ram, I think it's not a good lead-in.
I'm just picturing how the conversation starts. We're like, hey, have you seen Ram Woman? It's like, is that a porn? It's like, no, like Ram Woman. It's like, oh, the actual. No, I haven't seen her.
Ram her. Nope.
I forget her name. She has a name or a code name or whatever. But they
Ram. None of these are working.
I don't think it's She Ram. I don't remember what it is, but it's just like
none of those.
Yeah.
As a side note, it's funny you mentioned Teen Titans Go because I did not give that cartoon a chance at all. And then, inexplicably, Weird Al Yankovic was the voice of Darkseid. And I'm like, I have to watch it now. I am one of the biggest Weird Al fans since like day one. And ever since I discovered him, I've had every album. I've backtracked the 2 albums that I missed. He's a god among men.
Yep.
I've met him. He's a super nice guy. It's just a wonderful human being. I've seen him in concert several times. I'm like, I need to see this cartoon. And I watched it. I watched it while I was on vacation one year. And I said to myself immediately, this is hilarious. I have to go back and watch the rest of this.
That's what
it's all on HBO Max now.
I know. I've thrown it on in the background. I love it. It's so good.
It's the best show to keep in the background too, because you're like, you don't really care, but it's low key really funny if you pay attention, and it has a lot of Easter eggs, and it has a lot of deep cuts if you pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
They do some shit. You're like, wow, I would never expect that from this show, but they do it.
I do always say my original hate for Teen Titans Go was only there, not because it went in a comedic route or it was now for kids. That wasn't my issue. My issue was the original announcement was that we were getting a follow-up to the original Teen Titans show. And then it dwindled down to becoming Teen Titans Go. That's what always stuck with me, because I thought they were selling out for kids and saying F you to all the, because we grew up with Teen Titans, So it's like, well, we grew up with it. We thought you were giving us more. And then you spin off to that. It's the same hate I had for Rebels coming off of Clone Wars. They ended Clone Wars once Disney bought Star Wars from George, and then it went to Disney, and then I didn't like the animation. I thought it was doing exactly what Teen Titans Go
did. Nothing like Teen Titans.
No, I once I watched it, I said, okay, I get it. It's not, and then I fell in love with it. But Joel knew about Rebels well before I did, because I never gave it a chance, because I did not like that they ended Clone Wars once Disney bought it to give me that. But again, it's one of those things where once you give it a chance, you understand, you respect it, you can appreciate it for what it's doing, and that's what I did. So big fan of Teen Titans Go, big fan of Rebels. Almost most of what we're getting in live action Filoniverse is Rebels. So you kind of need to know it. You kind of need to know everything about Rebels.
That's his history books, bro.
That is like legit. The way Filoni, Joel, and we're gonna get back on topic. The way Filoni is building his Star Wars universe, it's kind of like it's from Clone Wars, the animated series, to Rebels. That's it. That's his parameters. You got to know those. If you know those, get excited. If you don't, go back and watch it. But all right. Let's move forward. But no, you did make a good point, Joel, with the Savage He-Man. I like how, as big as he got, you see in different parts of the trailer, Skeletor got even bigger. So it's like Skeletor's like, fuck that. Let me get big too. Yeah. But no, speaking of Hulk, Joel, great segue. We can get into the rumors that we got, which was Fantastic Four, Nova, and Thunderbolts, and a possible World War Hulk live action movies are going into production in 2023.
Very intriguing. I did not hear this.
Now, the only reason, and I remember telling Kanan this as soon as he sent me that, I remember telling him, well, World War Hulk is the one I call bullshit on, because it's kind of like, you already adapted it in Ragnarok.
A version of it.
That's why the core part of it. Well, obviously not the best part that I think is the supreme part of it.
Right. It comes back to Earth and shit like that.
But see, that's my problem, Joel, because you've already, and again, can they retcon it? Sure. So if they do it, who gives a fuck?
Sure. I mean, definitely.
But for not you guys, for people watching this that don't know, in World War Hulk, the Avengers, or technically the Illuminati, sent Hulk off into space because he became too dangerous to keep on Earth. Hulk then went to not the same planet, but a planet that he built, that his blood kind of built up the planet or some stupid shit like that. But anyway, it was a war planet, and on that planet was Silver Surfer. He was in the fight. Beta Ray Bill was in the fight. But when Hulk decided to come back to Earth, his first stop was the moon to go fuck up
Black Bolt.
To go fuck up Black Bolt. That's when he gave the infamous line, "I didn't come here to hear you whisper. I came here to hear you scream." And then he makes his way to Earth, where he takes on the X-Men, he takes on the Avengers, and it's where it gets to where Joel will not like, is when the only person that was able to stop the Hulk was Sentry. So they had to bring in Sentry to stop the Hulk. No. And that was the way.
Oh, you mean Superman?
yes, essentially, yes. So the reason why I called bullshit is, to me, when they said they were doing Ragnarok and they were taking elements of World War Hulk, it took me a long time to accept that and get over it. Now you don't have the universe set up yet with Inhumans, with the X-Men, to do World War Hulk appropriately. So I would just rather you not do it. I've already got it out. It's
already been broken, though.
What do you mean?
You said it. They already started it. They already took parts of it in other movies. It's already broken.
Right. So to me, it's kind of just like I've kind of gotten bits of pieces of it. And to me, only to me, you can't do the best part of it yet because you didn't set anything else up yet, which is seeing Hulk fight Juggernaut. That was awesome. And remember, that was in World War Hulk takes place right after Scarlet Witch says no more mutants. So you're dealing with that. You're dealing with Hulk now as a savage monster. So there's just a lot of it that you can't necessarily adapt right now. And I don't want to see you poke and prod it. I just rather you not do it. You know what I'm saying?
We got to see what happens before that movie gets into work, if it even gets into work, you know?
Right. And we know how Universal is. So I'm curious whose idea, if this is true, whose idea this was to do this. Because I mean, shit, if you're Universal, you wait and you just give us Hulk versus Wolverine. If you're gonna give us anything Hulk solo.
If maybe it's not up to them anymore. Maybe they have control again.
Oh, Marvel? You're saying Marvel has control again? Mm-hmm. That would be interesting because we know Universal hugged that shit tight. I mean, fucking tight. But it'd be interesting.
They ain't Sony though.
Say it again, Joel.
I said, yeah, but they ain't Sony.
No. Which was always confusing as to why they weren't willing to just sell it back. It's like, well, you're not doing anything with it. Like, I don't understand. Like, if you were making movies, then I could accept that.
Yeah, they're probably getting all sorts of residuals from the Hulk being used.
Right. That's what it is. Right.
So we might, it may be a World War Hulk movie or whatever might happen, but there's going to be a lot of other characters from the MCU in it.
Of course.
So, can you really call it a solo Hulk movie? I don't know. And if they could probably call it something besides World War Hulk too.
Right. We don't know if
this. We know if this is a Universal idea, they'll want to make it as Hulk centric with elements of the MCU as possible. But if this is a joint project, then yeah, Feige's going to throw in as much fucking MCU as possible.
And apparently, the events that lead up to that potential movie starts in the She-Hulk.
Interesting. All I want is the leader. We were hinted at the leader. Give me the leader.
It's just, you know what it is? You know what it is, Joel? It's just one of those things to where it's like, I can't wait to She-Hulk now. Because remember, we just saw Bruce not too long ago. And it's like, well, World War Hulk means he has to be off planet. How the fuck does he revert to get him off planet?
Well, we don't have to. He could be back on Earth again because maybe it's the second half of it. We don't know. World War Hulk could be Earth. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you what. For them to give me Savage Hulk, which was like essentially Super Saiyan Hulk in that storyline, that's just unstoppable, and it takes the Avengers to stop him. That would be very interesting. But again, we got to see how that puzzle comes together.
What you're talking about when he fought all of the Avengers, like Black Bolt and the rest of them?
Yes, yeah.
That was World Breaker Hulk.
Yeah. World Breaker Hulk.
That's the name.
World Breaker Hulk. Yes, you absolutely. Yes, I'm sorry, not Savage Hulk.
That's all right.
World Breaker Hulk.
Juwan's favorite Hulk.
Yes, where he was essentially just lighting green because he was a Super Saiyan. Yep. I fucking love that Hulk. It's why I was so offended when they made him Peace Be Love Hulk in fucking Endgame.
Professor Hulk.
I call him Peace Be Love Hulk. That was the Hulk. Because it made me laugh when he looked down on himself when they went back in time during the Avengers movie, and he's just like, ugh, ew, look at you. And it's like, bitch, that was you. Don't you dare look down on him. But no, Pete. So Nova, World War Hulk, Thunderbolts, and Fantastic Four, all rumored to be going in production in 2023. Which one of those stands out to you the most?
I want Fantastic Four because I want Doctor Doom and Galactus. I mean, honestly, I wanted Nova. I wanted Nova in the worst way within the confines of the Infinity Saga. Like, I know we were supposed to get the scenes in Infinity War, and I know they were storyboarded. I don't think anything was ever filmed definitively to even say like, oh, the CGI wasn't done or something. But where the fuck was Thanos just annihilating Xandar? That's what I would have liked to see. You had the prime opportunity, no pun intended there, to go and introduce Nova. Have one of them fucking helmets, just go and fly a la Abin Sur's ring and go find Richard Rider. And
can I say this really quick, Pete? What always confused me, and Feige's never really given a definitive answer. Nova is not a character you had to wait for rights for. You had, like, Nova is a character that could have essentially came after Guardians of the Galaxy.
Absolutely.
Made all the sense in the world. I don't know why it's something that's been on the back burner for as long as it has.
Juwaan, this is why I'm always saying, what are you waiting for? Like, what are they waiting for with some of these characters? Do it already before interest completely wanes, the bubble bursts, and then, you know, these movies go the way of the Western. Where we get one a year if we're lucky. I hope you're right, Joel. I'm a pessimist.
If anything, Feige's trying to figure out ways to give us 8 to 10 a year, if he could.
I'm all for it.
10 a year.
Wow. We live in a superhero world without superheroes.
We better.
I mean, I'll say this, Pete. Amazon Prime was not doing well until The Boys and Invincible.
Yeah.
Because superhero stuff is running the world right now. It's why Peacock just took a $26 million dive. Because they don't have anything that brings on the audience. You don't have that big budget kind of feel.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like, go find you an IP.
Do you understand how pissed I was when I had to subscribe to Peacock for a month just to watch Halloween?
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, Peacock does have a lot of stuff that I like. King of Queens, Psych, Everybody Loves Raven. So it does have the
but that shit is free on there. I had to subscribe to the premium nonsense.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's because you were watching a brand new movie.
I know.
Technically, it is free, but Pete, I do not do commercials. So the only way to watch these shows without essentially just saying, well, I have cable to do this for, is to read commercials. Because, ooh boy, does that irk my soul. But no,
I completely support that logic. I do.
I'm glad you said Fantastic Four because I'm still Joel doesn't mind. He's like, that's my phone time. I just go on my phone.
I tell him all the time. I can look at that. I can look down now.
I always say, Pete, because with my ADHD, that's when I'm completely out of it. Like when I log out of the show mentally. You know what I'm saying? Is when they give me the 5 minutes of the commercials.
Right. That's when I'm sitting there like this. Like,
yeah, I'm like, I could be doing.
I gotta rewind now. Yeah.
Right. Like I could be doing something else right now. But no, I'm glad you said Fantastic Four first because I'm still of the mold of I do want Mole Man, Annihilus, and then Doctor Doom as the trilogy of villains that then leads us into Galactus. Like you could end the third movie with Silver Surfer coming to warn them. But that's how I want them to do it. Because like Joel said, and I never thought of it like this, but Joel made such a great point. I don't need Doom as a start-off villain for the Fantastic Four. I just don't. I don't. Because Doom is a character you can do a solo movie for. You don't need to add him into that first movie of the Fantastic Four.
Let me supplement that. I do not need him as the first villain. I don't. I agree with you 100%. I do absolutely want him, and I will be a childish bastard about it if he is not at least introduced in the first movie. I don't want to see Victor Von Doom running around with his pretty face like what's his name was. I forget the actor's name. I want to see Victor Von Doom in his fucking castle, in his green and robes and his metal armor, saying that infernal Richards, and just like going about his day. Give me 2 minutes of Doom footage in Latveria. I'll be thrilled.
So let me ask you this. If they didn't do that, if they didn't tease him in the first movie, but they gave you a Doom solo movie,
I don't know if I need a solo movie. I don't know.
No. I'm not saying we need it. I'm not saying we need it, but I'm saying, because to me, it's one of those things where it's like, you can tease it. You can tease it in that first Fantastic Four movie 100% for sure. But it's just like, because remember, Noah wanted to do a Doctor Doom movie.
Yes.
And he said he actually spoke about that Doom movie the same way Chris McKay speaks about this Nightwing movie, to where it's not dead, but it's not something we should be expecting anytime soon.
If I'm getting a Doctor Doom movie, excuse me. Mm-hmm. If I'm getting a Doctor Doom movie, I want a Doctor Doom, Doctor Strange, Triumph and Torment movie. That's the only time I really need.
You may be asking for a lot there, Pete.
I know, but that is really one of the greatest comics I have ever read.
I'll say this: we are at a great time to introduce Doctor Doom, because he is a character that balances science and magic, and in nowhere ever did they have a time where they can introduce Doom and have both and make sense of it. Mm-hmm. Now is the best time in this world where you're definitely having science versus magic. The best character to introduce is Doctor Doom, easily.
Yeah. But you know what, Pete? It goes to what I was talking to Joel about on our podcast earlier this week. I would love it if Feige did more event films, like not Avengers event films, just event films. Like if we get Doom introduced, we get a little bit of Doom in this and that, and then in the Fantastic Four movie, and then you do an event where it's not a Doctor Strange 3, but it is that storyline you're talking about, and it's just an event movie.
With just them in it. Yeah, just call it Triumph and Torment. I'm good.
Right. Where it still flows within the MCU. It's not Elseworld. It's still within the MCU in continuity, but it's an event movie of Doom versus Strange.
100% agree. I do not need sequels.
Right.
Just give me the movie.
That's what I'm saying. Wolverine versus Hulk doesn't have to be part of their trilogies.
Right.
Just make it an event movie. That's it. Yeah. Marvel's Wolverine versus Hulk. Mm-hmm. I mean, Wolverine versus Hulk or Hulk versus Wolverine, whatever. But that's just an event movie. Still continuity, still gives you the little Easter eggs of what's to come for Hulk and what's to come for Wolverine, but it's not part of their trilogies. So you're not bunkering down what you can expand on a Wolverine trilogy. I don't need Hulk part of that trilogy.
I mean, think about it. We might actually get that. That's
right.
That's
100% possible. That's 100% possible. But I do want the Wolverine where he does have the Silver Samurai, where it's done right, not what we got.
So you don't want a Gundam running around?
No, I do not. I want Omega Red. I want Sabretooth. You know what I'm saying? That should be the arc of his 3 movies. Hulk does not need to be in the swing of any of that.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? So hopefully that's something. If I ever got a chance to ask Feige one question, that would be my one question to ask. Could we get just event movies that aren't Avengers based or part of someone's trilogy? So that way the fandom gets these things happening that doesn't have to bunker down anything. You know what I'm saying? Because the storyline you're asking for, I don't need all the Avengers. You know what I'm saying?
It doesn't have to be quite so continuity laden. It just exists and it's here for fun.
Right.
Yeah.
Because we do know they possess the ability to do that. Because I always tell people, if your first movie into the MCU was Black Panther, you have no idea that it's part of that whole huge MCU till the end credit scene, because it takes itself so outside of acknowledging Iron Man or Hulk or anything. Like, it lives within its own confines. You know what I'm saying? Doctor Strange did that also, to where it just focuses on Doctor Strange.
Right.
You don't hear anything else till you get to that.
Until you see Eternals, it does the same thing.
Yes, exactly. If Eternals is your first movie, you kind of go, well, there's no Avengers or anything anywhere. And it's like,
No, man, let me ask you this. Let me ask you both this. Why are the critics bad-mouthing this movie so much?
I think it's a lot of fans. No, go ahead, Joel. Go ahead.
I just it's not like your typical Marvel movie, in my opinion.
No.
Okay.
It's definitely the most different movie we've gotten.
Yes. In my opinion, in a good way. Okay. Chloe does a lot of really ambitious things with this. And I love it. And again, I'm not getting into any details, but she does the highest form of comic accuracy when I thought she wasn't going to go there. So for me, it's just everything in a ball.
In one aspect, and in other aspects, she definitely makes her own decisions.
1,000%.
Like, oh, I thought they were gonna go here, they went there.
But I swear, Pete, I feel like the people complaining are people that could care less about the Eternals. They just didn't really like, I guess, how it changes.
Well, it's just the critics at this point anyway. There's like no audience score yet. So
right.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And as far as I'm concerned, most critics are assholes.
100%. It's why I don't have a critic that I know by name. I don't listen to critics. I go see these. You know what I do? This is what I do. So there is one critic I listen to. That's Joel. I will legit go, Joel, did you see this movie? Yeah. Is it good? Yeah, it was good. All right, I'll check it out. That's it. That's really it. That's really it. Anybody else is kind of just like, I don't give a fuck if blah 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 didn't like Eternal.
I'm not the best critic at all, because I like, as he knows, I like a lot of shit. Like, I'm not the most critical person when it comes to movies.
But at the same time, therefore, like, I'm the same way. I go into a movie wanting to be pleased and come out happy. So if I don't come out happy, you really shouldn't waste your time.
But I'll also say what's different is Joel does know my taste. You know what I'm saying? Our taste isn't that drastically different. So if he says it's good, like when he told me to watch Teen Titans Go, I went and watched Teen Titans Go because I trusted him that much. So to me, if he says it's good, that's really the only thing I'm looking for. But Joel, so out of those titles, Nova, Fantastic Four, Thunderbolts, or World War Hulk, that are reportedly going into production in 2023, which title are you looking forward to the most?
Well, let me start by saying all of them, and then I can do it.
How did I know we were going?
How do you choose just one? Damn, that's tough. I want to say Nova, because it's just like everyone, for the longest time, we're like Nova. So I can't wait for Nova. But at the same time, I cannot wait for what they do with the Fantastic Four. Like, what is the MCU's version of the Fantastic Four? I have an idea what Nova's going to look like. I have no idea what they're going to do. Like, I know what the Fantastic Four should look like. I know what they should be like. I know what we should see. I don't know what they're going to do. You know what I mean? That's what I like. Who are they going to cast? What they're going to look like? How does the director make the movie feel like a Fantastic Four movie that we haven't seen already? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Can I just say, after watching Midnight Mass, which again was a suggestion by Juwaan and Joe, shout out to Joe, just your average Joe.
Great.
That sheriff, seeing that made me not against that sheriff being Reed Richards at all. And we know he wants to be. I was not against that whatsoever. I actually looked at him and I just kept staring like, fuck, I really think I could wrap my head around him being Reed Richards and I not having shit to say about it. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I like that. I really do. I really do. Pete, how far did you get?
I am up to episode 5 right now.
Okay.
So Pete, I have 3. I haven't watched 5 yet. So I've got 5, 6, and 7 to go.
Of what?
Okay. Midnight Mass.
Oh, okay.
And let me say this, Joel. We're not going to get into it because remember he hasn't finished it. But Pete said something to me before getting too deep into this show. I was just dumbfounded by what he said. I'm just
was close, man. I was close.
He was so close, Joel, on just guessing exactly where the show was going. I was just like, holy fuck, Pete. Like, oh he was so close, Joel. I swear I thought he wrote it. I swear. I was like, okay, all right. It was as close, Joel, as when I asked you about that movie James Wan just did.
Malignant.
Malignant. Remember how close I got, and you were like, well, "You're there. You're there.
You're in the ballpark."
Right. That's how close Pete was. I was just like, "Shit, that's."
I was really proud of myself. I was like, "Oh, damn! Didn't guess that little twist." But
and he even said, Joel, he's like, "Don't tell me yes or no. Just save this, and when I get to a certain point, I'll message you and say, holy shit." And I was just like, yeah, but wait till you finish. All right. So we got a few more topics before we get out of here. Have you seen Dune, Pete?
I haven't, and I want to watch the original before I see the
No.
Well, just watch the new one.
Just watch it.
Okay.
As someone
but my OCD says I should watch the original.
Okay? Let me just say this.
I might want to watch the original for like just
if
to
you
compare.
want to, Pete, you can.
Okay.
You do not have to. As someone who watched it, and I did enjoy the original. A lot of people's complaints of this newer one is that it's too much fucking story, right?
Okay.
And I just want to let people know, if you thought this was too much story, the original is all fucking story. I mean, without the visuals, without the names you recognize, without sexy ass Rebecca Ferguson, you're missing all that. Just watch this one. It's okay. Just watch this one.
Okay.
Look at it and just watch this one. But we don't have to get into it. We'll wait to do our Dune review. I know Joe's doing one that I'm going to be a part of. Joel, me and you actually already did our somewhat review when we did our pod this week.
Yeah, we kind of did one.
Yeah. So Pete, when you do yours, let me know. And Joel, we'll just talk, I guess, more about it later on. But it did get greenlit for a part 2.
Yes.
It did. And Denny did say that he's going balls to the wall with this part 2. So I'm very excited to see what his version of balls to the wall is. But I'm excited for Denny and that entire cast and crew. It was an amazing movie. Do not listen to the critics or people just talking shit. Go see it, experience it for yourself on the biggest screen possible. Go experience it that way.
Okay.
Because it's a big movie feel. It really, truly is. It's a big movie feel. Joel saw it in theaters, and his only regret was that he didn't see it in a bigger screen.
I haven't seen it in theaters. I saw it at home.
I thought you saw it in theaters.
No, I saw it at home. And I saw it again recently, and I'm like, on a bigger screen, but not a theater. But I definitely wish I did see it in theaters because it's fucking beautiful.
It is really fucking good. We're welcoming in Joe now. What's up, Joe?
What's up, guys? I was watching some football.
Word.
How good is it, Joe? Because you were foaming at the mouth about it. How good is it?
It's good. It just went to half. It literally just went into halftime.
Okay, all right. So actually, we'll start off with you here, Joe. We're moving on to our next topic. So me and Joel had a good laugh about this. Empire Magazine obviously was doing its whole spread about Spider-Man No Way Home. And in one of its variant covers, not variant magazine, but it's different covers, I'll say, it did not hold back from giving us the answers we've been looking to have answered, which was, how many villains are we getting in this movie?
Yeah.
Well, guess what? Empire confirmed 5. They confirmed 5 villains: Sandman, Lizard, Doc Ock, and Green Goblin. And who am I missing? Am I missing? Electro. Sorry, Electro. So they gave us our 5, and I was very shocked. And Joel was just like, they were just like, what more can I tell you? I'll gladly tell you. And now we have confirmation that Andrew Garfield's Lizard will be reprising his role, and Tobey Maguire's Sandman will be reprising his role. So
and you have not told me that Toby and Andrew are in this movie? Okay.
Right. But I will say this, I told this to Joel, in that same cover that gives you the different logos or weapons or whatever of these villains, there are 2 different Spider-Man logos. 2. One that you recognize is obviously Tom Holland's, and then there's another one that you don't recognize as either Toby's or Andrew's. But it does not mean anything because they could have just updated their suit from the last time that we fucking saw them as active Spider-Man. So I thought that was interesting.
Their logos weren't that different either.
No, not at all. Not at all. But I'm saying when you look at that secondary logo on that magazine, it's not eye popping. It's like, oh, that's Toby's, or oh, that's Andrew's. That's all I meant by that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's
both Toby and Andrew also had the big ass spider in the back, which I actually like. It's really cool. But Tom's went back to the smallest fat spider.
right, a little teeny one. But Joe, you being a super huge Spider-Man fan, how excited are you that we now definitively know, for some strange reason, we have 5 out of 6. They won't tell us 6, but we have 5. So we have the Sinister 5.
Yeah.
How excited are you to see these villains come back?
I am excited. We all speculated that that part of the trailer that could have been Sandman. I remember immediately shutting it down. I was like, "There's no way they bring back it's Thomas Hayden Church. Is that who was it? Yeah. Yep. There's no way they bring back Sandman. The only reason why I said that at that moment, and then I completely retracted, I think like soon after that, was the simple fact that in Spider-Man 3, he really, the way it ends, his arc ends, he's really not a villain. Right. So it was just, it doesn't make sense. I don't know how or why or to what magnitude he's coming back as, right? You know, because of the way it ended in Spider-Man 3. But of course I'm excited. Now, are we supposed to get 6? Is that what they're trying to do because of Sinister 6?
I'm going to say this. 6. If they're not trying to do Sinister 6,
yeah,
I hate this even more, because why do you get one number short of the fucking 6? I don't need you to call them the Sinister 6, but you'll get 5, but not 6.
Dare I speculate
that it might be the start of it? And then because they want their own movie? Isn't that what Sony wants to do?
That's what Sony wants, but I do believe Feige's trying his best.
I think we're going to get it here, and I honestly think Mysterio's not dead.
Well, you have 3 prospects. It's not just Mysterio. You have 3 prospects. You still have Vulture.
It's true.
Right? I know they didn't really show us him, but we are teased of Scorpion.
Right.
Right. Actually, there's 2 more. I forgot. There's one other person. You got Mysterio, obviously. And of course, that the one character from Far From Home, and Chameleon.
Oh,
right, Dimitri.
Yeah,
but I always felt like that was more like a little shot, like not really to be taken seriously.
Okay.
Because I feel like if you're going for that character, you don't go that no name. Think of
if they're making a Craven movie,
right?
You could show up there.
Well, that's the thing. It's already been rumored that Chameleon is the villain in Craven, but we don't know if they're going to use the same actor. You know what I mean?
That is true.
Right.
Don't have to. It's the Chameleon.
There's one other thing
right? You shouldn't have to.
There's one other thing about the magazine that somebody pointed out. This might be reaching. It could be. I mean, I feel like every channel or whatever website is reaching at this point.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But the way the Empire in that variant cover you're talking about, the Empire itself, they're matching it up with the honeycomb-like pattern that both Maguire and Garfield had in the Spider-Man costume when like zoomed in, and Holland doesn't have that honeycomb like in the costume itself. It's got like that honeycomb kind of pattern. So that was another one of the other Easter eggs or whatever.
Did you also see Sony's tweet?
No.
With the 3 spiders?
So
the 3 spiders.
Yeah,
I saw that.
Everybody's going nuts about that one.
Yeah, I mean,
let's be honest. Sony months ago already
could be Spider-Man 3 or it could be Spider-Man 3.
Sony fucked up months ago when they
Jamie Foxx fucking spoiled it months ago. Let's go.
For sure. Right. And then Sony doubled down on it when they did Into the Spider-Verse and they showed all 3 Spider-Men like in like a collage, and then they removed it, and that video has not been put back up since. So I mean, they're doing everything but saying, hey, they're in it. You know,
I have maintained that they're in it. I fucking told you.
At this point, dude, honestly, at this point, I just want to go to bed and wake up on the 17th because magazines now are spoiling shit. Like, I mean, I'm not saying like it's unheard of. It's never happened before, but I mean, I gotta find out things about this movie that's not coming out for another month and a half on the cover of a magazine.
But to be fair, to hold you over, Joe, that second trailer will be here before mid-November.
I don't even want it. I don't even want a second trailer. I just want to watch the movie.
Want it. Because there's the one element of this movie I don't have an answer to, and it's what the fuck is happening with Doctor Strange. Like everyone's focusing about the 5, and then
find out on the 17th.
Spider-Man, and I'm
right, exactly. Well, then you definitely want to get to the.
Wait, you didn't get from that photo? You didn't get? You don't understand what Doctor Strange is doing? He's standing in a doorway, Juwaan. How do you not know?
I couldn't put the pieces together. I'm sorry. But no, like everyone's worrying about that, and I'm kind of just at this point. I'm like, well, we now definitively know that, right? We know that the Spider-Man will come help Tom save the day. We get it. And I think they confirmed it by using this phrase. When the director said, this is Tom Spider-Man's Endgame, I'm like, well, think about what Endgame did. We had waited so many movies to hear Avengers Assemble, and we got it. And we got all the Avengers together for that Endgame, right? So when you use the word Endgame here, I'm like, well, Spider-Man together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're doing something like we'll probably never see again.
Did you see that? Right. There's a meme. I meant to send it to one of you guys. I saw it on Instagram. I can't remember where I found it though. What was the character in Infinity War? The one that made Stormbreaker. Was it Dceu? What was his called? What was his name again?
Eitri. I think it was.
Eitri. Right, Eitri. So you know how when Thor says in that scene where he's like, and if I have to die, and he goes, yes, that's what dying. I forgot what he said.
right. Yeah.
You had Tom
Holland.
Killing
you means
Tom Holland saying something about the end of a trilogy, right, or something like that, and
that's
Eitri's like, that's what trilogy means.
Right.
It was a funny meme. Yeah.
And he keeps typing it up. He says there's this crazy scene that Zendaya and what's his name that plays Ned on their days off came to set to see because it was so crazy.
Yeah.
He was sitting he said there's a scene where it's him, Aunt May, and Happy, and are sitting at the table with somebody he never thought he'd get the chance to work with. Now, again, when these actors talk, we should remember Paul Bettany built up something that turned out to just be White Vision. Mm-hmm. So, and we were I was doing the science. I'm like, everyone was like, oh, it's Magneto. And I'm like, well, no, he worked with that actor before. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm like, he said it's someone he's never worked with. And I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? I was like Charlie Day from fucking Always Sunny in Philadelphia. With the cigarette and everything. I don't even smoke, bro. I was going insane trying to figure out who that was. And when I saw White Vision, I'm just like, okay, White Vision. And then when it was like, ta-da, that's who I was talking about. It's like, oh, fuck you, Paul Bettany. Like, it's just you again.
Like, he trolled us good, man. He trolled us all.
But I will say it was a great
reveal. It was a great reveal, for sure.
White Vision was awesome, though. Yeah, that was fucking...
Am I the only one that's worried that this movie's going to suck?
Yes.
Let me say this: if there is any Marvel movie you can expect not to suck, it would be this one.
No, it might
you
suck
would think
for certain people, but I am not one of those people.
No, I don't. I can't hate it because it's a Spider-Man movie, and if it does have who I think it's going to have, because it's been rumored for so long, it should be amazing. Hopefully, it's done right. But I hope Jesus I don't know.
Here's the thing. We know it's not going to be a bad movie. The only way this movie could suck is if it doesn't live up to certain people's expectations.
Well, the hype itself, though.
It's so hard.
Expectations, yes, but even the hype. We're hyping it so much.
Some people are going to be so disappointed, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Here's what I always say. The movie itself never hypes you that much. We hype ourselves because of what we want to see in these said movies. But Feige never came out and said, you never know, there might be 3 of them. And then we get there and it's only Tom throughout the whole movie. So we're building ourselves up.
Oh, I know.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, if we're disappointed, it can't be Feige or John Watts' fault. It has to all fall on us because we're setting these unrealistic expectations. You know what I'm saying? So to me, I'm like, there's no way this movie can be bad. I've seen Spider-Man 3 in Amazing Spider-Man 2. This movie cannot be bad. Those were atrocious. This cannot be bad. It just can't. It can't. You're working with so much.
Yeah, but you do realize though that this movie is including those 2 horrible films. You're getting the villains from both.
But here's the one caveat. You ready for this?
The problem though.
Those movies didn't have Kevin Feige overseeing them.
All right.
That's why they were that bad.
Yeah.
Came in and said,
no one comes out of Spider-Man 3 thinking Sandman was the issue.
Right.
No,
I didn't like I didn't like Sandman being the villain in the first place, but he wasn't the problem.
No, he wasn't.
Him be the killer of Uncle Ben was an issue. Didn't like that shit. But that wasn't Sandman's fault. That was the writing's fault.
When I meant villain, I meant elements. I meant elements of the two movies that we hate.
Also, you got the Lizard. That was Amazing Spider-Man was good though. I'll take that.
No, I didn't mind. I didn't mind the Lizard. I didn't mind Amazing Spider-Man #1.
Electro, number 1 I thought was great. Great.
We're gonna get Electro, and then we already know Electro's gonna look different.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And then we got
Jamie Foxx spoiled that too.
He sure did. Right, almost the first day. Like, I'm in it. Everyone's in it. I look different.
First thing he posted was Electro in yellow, and it was just like, what? And he was just like, shit, delete it. Sorry. It's like, you already put it out there.
Like, the multiverse, all 3 of them there.
Right.
Everything. He gave everything.
Yeah, he spoiled everything.
I know for a while, Rhino was, no, I'm saying Rhino was rumored for a while. And they finally, I'm pretty sure they debunked it.
They did, but they also said that there's only going to be 5 villains in the movie.
Right.
And also,
I would love to see Michael Keaton get broke out of jail, and he arrives like as kind of almost like the leader in this case, and I'll take it.
Here's the problem with that.
And Goblin's going to be the leader.
I think so too. Or
Ock. I don't know. I don't think Doc. I would love it to be Doc Ock, but I could see Goblin.
Doc Ock was the leader in the comics.
Comics, yeah.
Yes, it was. There was no Goblin in the comics. At least not in the initial imprint.
Right. But to go over something you said before, Joe, when you were saying when they're pulling out Sandman, we can assume they're pulling out Sandman relatively early in that movie. And we could, because remember, Alfred Molina said this Doc Ock is being plucked right before he drowns. Yeah. So that's right before the thing snaps, and then he's redeemed somewhat.
But Sandman was never at any point in that film a real villain, though.
No, but the motivations could still be the same.
They could all be manipulated by one person too.
That's awesome. You know what I'm starting to think? And I'm passing this on because I fucking hate this. I've tried to get out of it. If there is something going on with Doctor Strange, that could be the piece that poisons the well that gives us our Sinister Five. Just saying. Pete, now that we have all the pieces in place with our villains and we know we have our Sinister Five, I will continue to call it that.
And hopefully they get 6.
Right. But
I don't mind a surprise on 6. We have a few possibilities, like Joe said.
Same.
Yeah. We have a casting of Kraven. Throw his ass in.
We have technically Venom.
We do.
I said it, and we had said that. I said there's a possibility of maybe they're holding out for Venom to make an appearance and maybe be recruited. I know he's not one of the original members, but I pointed out he is a part of one of the versions, one of the teams, and there's so many different Sinister Sixes. Yeah,
I'm going to be honest with you, Joe. At this point, it's the MCU. Fuck it, throw Venom in. You know what I'm saying? If that's what you want to do,
you don't have to though. You don't. You already have established. You have Mysterio if they decide to keep him alive, and you have Vulture. You already have established.
We do still have Shocker. Everyone keeps forgetting.
Shocker's in jail.
Yeah. Still have Shocker. Everyone, I swear, there's not one YouTuber I've seen that has mentioned Shocker, and I'm like, you know, the original Shocker died, not the new Shocker.
No, I know, but
the new Shocker's still there.
Yeah.
So I'm saying,
I love Scorpion. Scorpion was always my favorite guy. Yeah, I'll take him.
I'd say Scorpion, and I'd save a couple of them for the sequels, but like for maybe a future Sinister Six. But for this one, the guys that established like Vulture makes sense. I'll take Mysterio, even though I didn't want Mysterio. I didn't want any MCU Spider-Man villains in it because I just like the idea of all the multiverse villains.
Yeah. Also, I mean, even if Jake Gyllenhaal's dead, that other squirrely guy ran away with the hard drive.
Right, with the tech.
Mysterio is still technically viable.
Yeah.
Right, and it would make sense. It would make sense to have Mysterio because the whole premise of this movie is the actions that he set into motion. So to have him here to drive home, no. This motherfucker's insane. Spider-Man's bad. Even though the first moment he pops up, I'm like, well, you're not dead. We hated him for no reason. Like, he was right. But no, Pete. So now that we have all the pieces on the board, right? How much more excited are you to now know that definitively we're at least getting 5 outside of the 2 that we actually got just in the trailer?
playing off of what Joel had said, that Sandman was not what was wrong with Spider-Man 3. For me, the Uncle Ben angle aside, Thomas Hayden Church was one of the best things about that movie. That man was great in that role.
He looked great too.
He really did. Like, and when I heard, what did that information just dropped like today, I think, right? So maybe yesterday or whatever.
Yeah, today. This morning.
I lost my mind. I was like, oh my God, they're really, really doing it. And the whole thing with the Sony tweet of the 3 spiders, and Sony admits that they're gonna have the other 2, Garfield and Maguire, in it. Like, it's all just kind of falling into place. I didn't think I could be more excited for this, but knowing that, I was thrilled when I still always firmly believe that we were getting the other 2 Spider-Men, but I thought it was just going to be the 4 villains. The idea that we are, in fact, building to the Sinister Six, and I do not think we will be left off with 5. I think we're going to get that 6th one. I don't know who it's going to be, but at this point, so. They got to do it. They're building to it. Let the 6th one be a goddamn surprise. Please give me like one thing to be shocked at, and that's not a pun. Nor is that any kind of hint or anything to what I think is going to be happening. But let me be surprised by something. Like, what have I always said? I like those melodrama moments. I could see like all 5 of these cats like surrounding Tom Holland, and then Michael Keaton drops down. It's like, "Hello, Peter." Kind of like mirroring the Doc Ock statement or something like that. I think that would be dope. Like, that's kind of the scene that I would be hoping for. Or even this other asshole, like let Gyllenhaal come back out. I was like, "Hello, Peter," something like that. I'm thrilled for this. I get like Joe said, I want to wake up and it'd be December already. But I hate the cold and I like to eat, so Thanksgiving's like kind of important to me. I don't like turkey, but I'm Italian, so we don't really know how to do American Thanksgiving. There's a whole bunch of shit going on that table.
No, I mean, look, I'm with you, Pete. And like I said, I think it now confirms that they will do 6, because if it was just Doc Ock and Green Goblin, right? It's like, okay, I can live with that. No problem. You have, you know what I'm saying? I could, in Electro, I'm sorry. I could live with that. I could live with the 3. But when you get to 5, 1 away from the 6.
Right.
It's just like, well, now you're spitting. I mean, it's like when me and Joel always talked about when Zach did his Justice League and it was Unite the 7. And then it just became the 6. And it's like, no. You will not ignore that 7th member you're supposed to have in Green Lantern. Bring him in. So to me, it's like, you can't ignore the 6th member of the Sinister Six if you got the other 5. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, to me, it's kind of like all but confirmed at this point that they're going to do the 6.
It's just a question of who.
How would you guys feel if, like I said, what if the movie wasn't always about that? What if the movie at one point, all right, you have your 5, right? They do battle, they do whatever, but at the end, because I really don't know where they're going to go with this. Supposedly Holland basically said that, he made the comment, this is the first time in a while I don't have a contract. He keeps talking about an end game. So I don't know what they're deciding to do afterwards. But what if maybe not an end credit scene, but towards the end, the 6th member basically says, "Well, you didn't have me," and then the movie of a Sinister Six can follow, or they can do something with the Sinister Six in another film.
I wouldn't hate it, but it would be exactly what I just told you Zach did, where Zach said Unite the 7. I thought when we got to the end of his Justice League, it would be a Green Lantern. It was Martian Manhunter. So it's like, that's 8 now.
That's because they wouldn't let him use a Green Lantern.
That is true. He originally did have the 7th member. But it's like, you weren't even greenlit to do a part 2, bro. Just put Green Lantern in the flux of the actual movie.
Yeah. He should have never not been in the movie. That's just my opinion.
Right. But I'll say this, Joe. It depends on who that 6th person is. If it's Michael Keaton's Vulture, that's the 6th one. He's like, "Oh, you didn't have me." Maybe I could live with it. But the appeal of this Sinister Six is that it's a blend of all 3 of the Spider-Man's villains. So it's like, well, then if the 6th now going forward is an amalgamation of Toby's 2, Andrew's 2, You know what I'm saying? And then the rest are from Holland. I don't know if I like that. I kind of like this to be the crescendo, where
this is the movie that it's building it all up, and to not get to that.
Right, it's a 3 versus 6.
So who do you want the 6 to be?
The idea for a Sinister Six.
So who do you want the 6 to be? Because without Keaton coming in, none of these villains, off the quick top of my head, none of these villains are Holland.
Well, Mysterio,
except for
Mysterio, but Mysterio.
But here's the thing: you could build that. You know, the whole point of you exaggerating this being a multiverse that we're living in means that it's possible a Doc Ock could exist in the MCU, and he gets the idea from seeing this Doc Ock on TV. I'm not saying I need them to do that, but if you're going to give me a Sinister Six, I don't want it to be other Spider-Man Sinister Six. I want it to be they're defeated here, and like Joel said, it now becomes the birth of a new Sinister Six.
Right. So when they finally introduce Kingpin, he can create the Sinister Six.
There you go. Right. And it's Tom 6, not 6 from
and it's Tom
other
6.
Spider-Man. Right.
Exactly.
That's
and
all.
And then you can use Vulture, Mysterio, Shocker, and whoever.
I have a bit of an idea for what's happening at the end of this. I have no confirmation or anything on this. This is not a rumor or anything. This is just my own kind of
murmur.
What you thinking, Pete?
Foul.
Going off of the line when he's talking to Doctor Strange, like, oh, Ned, he's my best friend. He should know. If Doctor Strange cast this spell and everyone forgets, now Ned has no idea that Peter's Spider-Man. And at some point, if he learns this, and let's say something really bad happens, something happens that, I don't know, maybe the blonde chick, who was he dating? Was Betty. That Betty? Betty Brant? Yeah, so all right, that's comic accurate. Ned leads with Betty Brant. Mm-hmm. If something happens to her or something happens to another friend of theirs, and he gets pissed at Spider-Man, and he finds out that it's been Peter all along, and you allowed our friend to die, and he finds the remnants of the Green Goblin's equipment. We're walking and this dude lost mad weight. This dude's like slimmed down and he's like jacked now. We've got Hobgoblin for the next movie.
Well, that's already been a rumor.
That's been a rumor. Yeah, with that Ned becomes
Hobgoblin.
Well, son of a bitch, they're always one step ahead.
Well, ever since we got his name, and especially when he lost all the weight,
because Ned leads, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I don't know. But isn't Hobgoblin is a Sinister Six, right? Over Green Goblin, no?
When Kraven died, Hobgoblin took his place.
Okay.
For return and revenge for the Sinister Six.
Shout out to the guy I just interviewed, Ernie Altbacker, who wrote a lot of Spider-Man the animated series from the 90s. I love how that show handled both goblins.
Mm-hmm.
That show handled a lot of characters really well.
Yes, you got such a healthy. You know what that was? That show was the birth of the MCU. It was the roadmap for the MCU. It literally.
I learned a lot about comic books without reading comic books because of that show.
Because of that, right? It did a lot of fun shit, minus Madam Web. It did a lot of fun shit.
It did her well, though.
Series. Yeah, it all was great. All right, so I want to do just 2 more before we get out of here. Joel, I'm going to start off with you on this one because I want you to lead into this. We have a confirmation on Batgirl's villain. And it's someone very familiar with the DC universe, Joel. Who did we get as our villain for Batgirl?
Even though there was some confusion when it was originally posted.
Right.
That he was back. Well, no, who was it? That
it was Carmine Falcone. They thought he was Falcone.
They thought he was Falcone. He could either been Falcone or Firefly.
Right.
But Brendan Fraser was officially casted as Firefly, who will be the villain in Batgirl.
Yep. So how you liking that casting, Joel? And the pick of Firefly?
I like it. I like that. I like Firefly, and I like Brendan Fraser. I mean, is it a renaissance for him? Because like he hasn't done a movie in a while, at least not one I've seen. So like this is big for him, you know. Even though it's I think more or less an HBO Max movie, it's still big.
Right.
Because like I saw a lot of them today. Because I don't know if you're up to date on Doom Patrol, but this week's episode, he has a lot of just him without like not being in the suit and type of shit.
Okay.
Just him as himself. So he's still got it. He's just out of shape. So
more than out of shape. His body is just taking a toll. The stunts he did. He had like how many back surgeries? Like The guy
Really?
can he even put his suit on? Can he even stand up?
See, that's why, and me and Joel were talking about this because a few people were with the idea of, well, he has to lose a lot of weight, and it's like, well, I don't need Firefly to fucking have a 6-pack. He doesn't ideally have to.
No.
You just have to tone it, and then just build a suit around it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, there's plenty of ways to do it to where it's comfortable for him. And, I don't need him I don't need him to do what Kamal Nanjiani did, is essentially what I'm saying. Is go from someone who's an average body to now you are just like hot damn. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't need that from Firefly. You know what I'm saying? It's Firefly.
Not for Firefly. Just get a healthy weight,
I am grossly unfamiliar with this character for the most part. The character I do know is Firebug, who I met in the Batman NES game way back when. And I just kind of Googled the picture of Firefly with Brendan Fraser, and then I Googled Firebug, and they look very much the same. Are they like the same character? And it's like there was a quick name change or something?
What's crazy is I don't remember Firebug whatsoever. I only know Firefly.
Google him up. I mean, it looks exactly like they're making Firefly look like.
Batman animated series?
I kind of do, but...
You don't remember him in The Batman cartoon?
Yeah.
He was more of a light, like a literally a Firefly.
Wasn't Firefly the character in the show Gotham a female?
Yes.
Yes.
And in Gotham, it was a girl.
In Gotham, it was a girl, yeah.
He was in Arkham, in the video games. He's been in
I think yes.
Except Arkham Asylum.
Yes. He must have just had a name change because that is Firefly.
Yeah, like, it looks exactly like him.
Sounds better than Firebug, honestly.
It does.
Firefly does sound better because it makes me think of G.I. Joe.
I was about to say that. Yeah, that's what I think of when I hear Firefly.
Oh, wait, here we go. But was beaten by this is Firebug, but was beaten by his rival arsonist Firefly.
Oh.
Wow.
He subsequently attempted to prove he was a better arsonist and again appeared to be killed by his own inferno. He was later revealed to have survived. Close brush with death alone and scarring because they prompted him to sell his Firebug costume. So probably fucking Firefly bought this shit.
Oh, well, then there you go. Firefly was Disney. Firefly said, "Give me your shit." But no, Joel makes a good point. I do like how they use him in the Batman the animated series, where it was way more tech based, and he was literally flying around like a firefly. But the more traditional is what Firefly will look like in all the photos, where it's very basic tech, and it's just kind of just like hydraulics floating up, flying around with just like your flame torch, which I'm completely flamethrower, whichever way you decide to go with, I'm fine. But I like Firefly being her first villain. First thing I said to Joelle was, depending on who her Batman is, right? And we still do not know. We know who we assume, but we don't know for sure. I am 100% okay with you going with one of my least cared about villains in Batman's Rogue Gallery for her to start off with. Like, if you went big Batman villain, I would go, well, we haven't even seen fucking Batman fight that guy yet. And you're giving him the Batgirl? So right. Firefly, perfect. I think Joelle even said in the comics that was one of her first villains.
Well, it was in her year one comic.
Her year one comic, okay. So I'm like, to me, that's perfect. I'm fine with it. No complaints. Perfect. Obviously, we know JK is coming back as Commissioner Gordon. Mm-hmm. And that's really all we know. We know a Batman will be in it. Don't know who. That's really all the information we have so far. So Joe, I'll go to you first. What are your thoughts on the casting and then the character of Firefly for Batgirl?
Well, I thought the miscommunication or the confusion you guys were talking about, I thought somebody on the internet made a joke in the casting of Batgirl thinking that what's his face? Brendan Fraser was Batgirl.
Yes.
Wasn't that?
Yes. They wanted to do a gender swap.
The way it was worded, no, it almost seemed like he was cast as Batgirl. No, I mean, look, I'm happy I'm happy Brendan Fraser if he is making a comeback. I felt horrible when he wasn't in anything. He dropped off for a while, and like I said, it had nothing to do with, like, I know he obviously gained a lot of weight as well, but a lot had to do with the fact that what I had said earlier was the fact that all the stunt work he had done in previous films over the years just took a toll on his body. And so yeah, I'm glad he's doing something, and if it's something in the Batgirl, whether it's Firefly, whatever, it's good. I'm glad. I like Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, and this could do for him what John Wick did to Keanu Reeves. Because that shit was just like, that's a whole second life this man is living now.
Yeah.
And now the whole studio's eating off of this man's back with these spinoffs and shit. But Pete, how do you like the casting? And now that you know the character is essentially what you remember, Firebug being, how do you like the choice of character?
Brendan Fraser can do like no wrong for me. I loved the Mummy movies. I was really happy that he was running around in Doom Patrol, even though it was just a voiceover. I don't think he was, in fact, the guy in the suit.
Right.
But I really like Brendan Fraser, and I'm happy to see him back in movies. I would like this to be a comeback for him because I'd like to see him do more stuff. I'd like to see him throw down in a Marvel movie somewhere. As far as the villain goes, take it or leave it. Like, you know, I'm just like I am with the rest of Batgirl. Honestly, Brendan Fraser will kind of get me to go see it more so than anything else I've heard so far. I'm all for it. Like, it's a cool villain. I don't know too much about him. I could probably think of other maybe C-list Batman villains that I wouldn't give a frig if Batman fought or not, but you know, like you could have had her fight like Clayface. I don't think we'll ever get a Clayface in a Batman movie, but throw him against her would be cool, you know, whatever. But I'm still going to see it. You know, I will see almost every superhero movie out there. And if I miss something, it's probably just because I forgot about it. And if somebody reminds me of it, I'll go see it. So yeah, I'm take it or leave it, but I'm pretty much always going to take it unless something heinous happens.
Right. And I love you saying you would love to see him in a Marvel movie because I immediately fan casted him for two characters, both in the Spider-Man universe, Hammerhead and Sandman. He would be a great Hammerhead or Sandman in the MCU, like Tom Sandman, because he could bring an evil Sandman to life. Because remember, like you guys said, the last Sandman we got wasn't evil.
The Sandman's not evil.
Sandman's not really an evil character.
I know he's not necessarily evil, but his motivations were his motivations ever what Sam Raimi made him?
He's not a bad guy usually.
He did have like a niece or a daughter to protect.
So he's like Hydro Man essentially.
Well, Hydro Man was just a kind of a jerk. He was
kind of
with Mary Jane, and
Sandman was part of Silver Sable's Wild Pack and shit or whatever. You know, he even
the chromium covers.
I remember having a picture of the Avengers, and he's at the fucking bottom.
I was like, I don't know what's going on.
They didn't really know what to do with Flint Marko for a while there.
No, but he could be a really cool Hammerhead. The whole mafia. I
could see him as Hammerhead.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Now, speaking of the mafia, I would love to see Tombstone run around a Spider-Man movie or somewhere, anywhere.
Yeah.
See
like,
who?
Tombstone. That was my beef with Cloak and Dagger. Was like, how are you gonna have? You know, it was a fun show, and like it needed a villain, and it needed Tombstone.
Yeah. Yep.
They were holding on to that one. That's why.
They really did.
All right. Our last thing here. Actually, I'm not going to go with that. I'm going to go with a story that just broke like a few hours ago.
Ooh.
Because that one was really exciting. We just got news. Ana de Armas is in talks to join the John Wick spinoff film called Ballerina in the lead role. And the film is about a young female assassin who seeks revenge against the people who killed her family. You know, John Wick shit. I'm surprised this one wasn't, you know, someone broke her ankle and she couldn't dance, and now
is there a kitten involved? There's probably a kitten involved.
I don't know. I think it's too on the nose if you go pet centric again. I think he's got that cornered off. But no, I love this. The one problem I had about James Bond, the new James Bond that came out, is that she was barely in it. She was in it for like a few waves, and that was it. And it was just like, shit, she was really building me up. I was like, shit, she's awesome. And then it was just like, all right, bye, James Bond. And it's like, oh, no. Put her back in. So I enjoy this. I hope at some point she has a crossover with John Wick. Because we know the lady that runs the Ballerinas, he has a very interesting relationship with. She excommunicated him in John Wick 3 when she burned the tattoo on his back. So it'd be interesting to see if these two ever cross paths. But I'm really interested. in this. I can't wait to see what she does with it, what they do with it. Joe, you look very perplexed. So
that was Angelica Houston, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
What did they do to her? Didn't they torture her?
No, they just put her hands together and stabbed her straight through her hands.
In her hand. Okay.
No torture at all.
Well, I mean, that's.
No, I just meant like it was because it was just to send a message, like don't help John Wick. So it was just boom, that's it.
Gotcha. Okay.
You know?
All right.
But yes, that is a form of torture. I would not want that to happen to me. But Joe, what are your thoughts on this casting and getting another spinoff? Because we know we got the Continental with Mel Gibson coming out, and now we have the Ballerina with.
I actually did not know that. I did not know we were getting something with Mel and the Continental.
Yep. It's about what's the guy, Joel, that runs the Continental now?
The concierge?
Yes, it's about him when he was younger.
Okay. Name. What's his name?
I can't think of the character.
But yeah, I mean, he was considered the concierge.
Shane's character. I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't think of the character's name, but it's about the Continental. And
okay.
Gibson's
all right.
The assassins.
All right, that sounds good. No, Balor. I mean, I love the actress. Anything part of that John Wick world, sign me up. I'm good. Whether it's a standalone, whether they cross paths, I don't think it matters. I'll still go see it. I mean, it's why I like Black Widow. I like those types of, kind of not like spy thrillers, but it's an organized group of lethal killers, whatever.
Yeah.
Wait, isn't that what the ballerinas are?
Yep. It's essentially like the Red Room. She was running.
That's what I said. Black Widow. Exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Pete, what are your thoughts?
I'm a simple creature, sir. She's pretty. I'll go see it. I mean, literally speaking, I like the John Wick movies. I like them more than I thought I was going to before I had seen the first one. And after the first one, I was like, oh, okay. So the idea of like two separate spin-offs, I'm game. I want to explore more of this world. And like you, I would really like to see a crossover. Like if you're going to do a spin-off, you got to bring it back to start. You got to have that obligatory meetup, I feel like.
Yep. And I Jessica Henwick is somewhere cursing somebody out because her and Keanu Reeves did want to do a concept of like a Jessica Wick, where it was like a female John Wick, literally a female John Wick. But essentially the studio just said, no, we're gonna do that, just not with another Wick. We're gonna go with these ballerinas over here. So somewhere Jessica Henwick is cursing somebody out. That they didn't.
I wouldn't even fuck with Jessica Henwick, man. She can use swords and shit. Just bust right into the movie studio.
Yeah, she really studied up on her craft to do Iron Fist. She was probably the only one that could say that.
Yes, she was.
But Joel, the Knicks won, so I know you're happy. But what are your thoughts on
it's fucking close? I was not happy for
the Bulls lost.
Yes,
I had money on the Bulls. Fuck.
Well, that's what you
did. I had money on the Bulls, Joe.
I hope you lost a lot.
You're an instant enemy to this friend. But
I didn't have money.
Bulls.
Joel, what are your thoughts, man, on Anna getting this lead role in the ballerina?
Good for her. I mean,
that's a great answer.
That is super.
I love John Wick like everyone else, so as long as they do it justice, I'm down. She's great. So.
Am I the only one that still can't watch the beginning of that film though? Because of the dog.
The dog. I mean,
I have to.
Motivation for the rest of the movie.
No, it's not something I look forward to seeing, but I can watch it.
I cover my I either cover my eyes or I fast forward that scene. Can't see it.
It's not like they really show it. I forget.
No, they don't show enough. It, but you do very much get the concept.
They show enough. Yeah.
But to me, I watch it, so it's good motivation. So you're like, those guys have to die, and sometimes you just need to be reminded why.
Right.
That's a good reminder.
Yeah.
Yes.
The fucking puppy. It was a puppy.
Yeah, it's a puppy.
Who kills
fucking
puppy?
Just like it. I'm like, I love you so much. I love it.
Yeah, there were points in that movie I said, let me get a gun and help John Wick kill these motherfuckers. That's motivation.
Peter was like,
I'm just picturing John Wick looking over at me with the guns. What the fuck are you doing? I'm here to help you. You needed help.
Die, motherfucker.
Can I just say really quickly, no one talks about this enough, but John Wick 2, the funniest scene in any action movie ever, is how subtle John Wick and Common's character are shooting at each other in the train station.
Yeah.
That, I don't think I've ever seen anything funnier in my life.
That was funny.
It's so subtle. He just has his gun right there in the suit jacket. Ping, ping, ping. And it's ping, like, ping. You're not hitting anybody? Like, how are you getting direct shots?
They're assassins. They're trained.
Apparently. They're trained so well, you can't hit each other from like 15 feet away. But that shit's fucking hilarious. Anyway, because I know we're all really looking forward to this film, I want to end on this. Derek Cianfrance, I can't pronounce his name, but we have a director for Ryan Gosling's Universal Wolfman movie. I'm really excited for this. I'm still don't know how I feel about it being Universal. I swear I wanted
Blumhouse.
Yes, I wanted Blumhouse to take all of this shit. I wanted him to take everything. I'd even be okay if Blumhouse was executive producer.
Well, they just did Invisible. He just did Invisible Man. Well, I should say Blumhouse, Invisible Man, because Universal did The Mummy with Tom Cruise.
Halloween,
right? Which
yeah. So I was kind of hoping they would give Jason all of these to build his own little universe, or just to make just individual movies of these, because he did such a great job with Invisible Man. But Joel, I'll start off with you, because we were just left completely taken aback by how great Invisible Man was. Even changing the concept of him not being actually invisible. It's more technical.
Blum is producing it.
He is producing it. Fuck yeah. Okay. All right. Great. Okay.
So is it not Universal then?
No. Universal is doing it, but he's one of the EPs.
Universal Picture, he's producing.
Right.
Gotcha.
Right.
So it's not Blumhouse Productions.
No. So that way Jason can go, if it sucks ass, I didn't do it.
I just got EP.
Yeah, I just got paid.
I was just a producer.
Yeah, I just got a check.
They didn't listen to me. I tried to tell them.
Right. It's what Ben says with Justice League, because he was an EP on that. I just got a check. I didn't but Joel, how excited are you? Not only that we finally got a director, we can start moving in the right direction, but that Ryan freaking Gosling is going to be Wolfman.
Yeah, I mean, that's not news. We've had that.
No, that's not news. No.
But I love the fact that when we got that news, it was amazing, because I love Wolfman's my favorite Universal monster. So to have it, and you're gonna have fucking Ryan Gosling as in the movie, and it's gonna be produced by Jason Blum. I'm like, all of it. I'm in. Give me all of it. So yes, I'm 100% down there. Like, whatever. I trust them after what they did with the Invisible Man. Give it to them. They know what they're doing. So hopefully this can do just as well. Because again, big Wolfman fan. Can't wait to see what they do with it. So let's go, people.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what they do with it, because I still, to this day, I hold Benicio del Toro's version very high. I loved that fucking movie. Every piece of that fucking movie I loved. So I remember there being something about Ryan Gosling's character being like a TV news anchor or some shit. So I'm like, I don't know what they're really doing with it, but Jason's involved, so fuck it, I'm on board. Pete, what are your thoughts? You excited for this at all?
I would almost wish that like there would be some kind of throwback, I guess, some kind of nod to the rest of what would have been the Universal Monster verse. I forget what the hell they wanted to call it.
Dark Universe.
Dark Universe. Thank you. I like Wolfman movies. I don't think I ever saw the Benicio del Toro one, so you've given me some homework. Yeah, I know. I gotta look for that.
Anthony Hopkins is in there too, man.
Oh wait, that's not Wolf, right? No, that was
no, that's Wolfman.
Okay.
Jack Nicholson was Wolf.
Yeah,
Wolf.
Right?
Okay, right.
Jack Nicholson and Michelle Pfeiffer, I think.
So it's just called Wolfman.
It's also a good movie, by the way.
Okay. I will look for that.
Benicio del Toro's Wolfman is awesome. In my opinion. I really like that. I know not everyone does, but
a lot of people don't like that, but also a lot of people did like Luke Evans'
Dracula.
And I fucking love that too. I still wish those two movies came together.
Well, they were supposed to. I mean, it was Not the Benicio del Toro one.
Yeah,
no, Luke Evans was
not those two.
Yeah, Luke Evans was supposed to start the Dark Universe.
Yes,
right.
that was supposed to, and I actually like that one a lot.
I did too.
Yeah,
I'm a big vampire fan. I any kind of vampire lore or something like that, I just eat that shit up.
I'm a werewolf guy, so I'm with you. So I understand. I'm with you.
Yeah, this is the best fucking time, bro.
But as far as it goes, I'll see it. Looks cool.
I have not seen the Benicio del Toro one.
When I tell you guys, it's so dark. It's so not dark in a bad way. It's so dark. It's so brooded. It's really fucking good. And
I don't know what people don't like about it. I'm still sitting here. I'm like, what
I don't know what people didn't like about Dracula Untold. I fucking love that movie. I don't know. I don't get it.
I can't tell you either.
I don't know.
I'm like, because there's no way you didn't like those. And then you saw that Mummy Tom Cruise movie and you went,
that Mummy movie sucked.
Yeah, did you guys watch the Dracula Netflix series? It was like 3 episodes or something like that.
Yes, it was so good until the third.
Until the third episode just blew the fucking farm.
Oh, that was on the right track, and I'm like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah, that shit was awful.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Joe, you excited for this?
I mean, I'm excited for Ryan Gosling and what he brings to the screen. I'm sure he's going to kill it. I like him as an actor. As far as the Dark Universe or the Monster Universe goes, I think I still have them on DVD. I had a collection of all the movies. I used to watch all the films, especially when I was younger. Growing up, my favorite was always Frankenstein or the monster.
Right.
And then I guess Dracula would be next. So Wolfman was always never really one of my favorites, but yeah, I'll see it. I still don't know why I've never seen the Benicio del Toro one though.
Because you know what it is? You know what it is, Joe? Remember how we just talked about Let Me In? And I said there is a large group of people that have no idea that movie exists.
Yeah, I mean, no, I know this one exists. I just don't know why I never seen it though.
Because Wolfman, I swear, was in the time. I told Joel this. I swear there was a time where we were getting vampire movies or vampire movies specifically, but monster movies. Mm-hmm. And then it kind of just started to drown itself out.
Yeah.
Then there was just a lapse. You know what I'm saying? Where we weren't getting any of that.
And then I had said, then you had like movies like Underworld that gave you both Draculas.
Right. And I think Underworld was more so because it was a hybrid of everything.
Yeah. Van Helsing was also around that time.
I liked Van Helsing too.
I like Van Helsing too.
It was goofy, but I liked
it. I still to this day would love to see Hugh Jackman come back. And
still the best looking Wolfman is fucking Van Helsing. I love the Wolfman and Van Helsing.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Cool.
Yeah. But I will say this: if you're not a Wolfman fan or whatever, I ask that you support it, because if Wolfman does well, it's how you get your Frankenstein. It's how you know what I'm saying? It's how you get more. Because Invisible Man was a box office hit. It's how
that was a great movie.
Gosling.
Well, they're already working on, I think, on a Dracula thing and a Mummy. Oh no, Bride of Frankenstein.
Bride of Frankenstein.
Right.
But why are they starting with the Bride of Frankenstein?
Don't know.
I really do think it's the times. I think it's the times. I think it's
they need a girl, and like no one else has that fits.
Right.
They did Invisible Man with a girl technically, even though the Invisible Man's still a man.
Right.
But the girl was the lead, and she
And we also said, Joel, we still don't know that that's connected to anything. We got to see how it all plays out.
As far as I know, it's not connected. I hope it is, but as far as I know, none of this.
That's why I accepted that they did the gender swap, or the gender swap aspect of it, because it's like, well, I don't even know that they'll build off of this. So if this is just a one and done, this is a great one and done.
I don't know. Remember what happened the last time they tried to gender swap? With the fucking Mummy. It was just awful.
Yes.
Yeah, they tried to gender swap. Yeah,
it wasn't because of
it wasn't because she was a girl.
No, it wasn't because of her. It was just because the movie sucked.
Right.
With the noted exception of Russell Crowe as Dr. Jekyll.
That was true. That was cool.
That was good.
That was a cool little surprise. I didn't know that was going to happen.
Yeah, I agree there too. I did like his appearance as Jekyll.
Yeah, but
the world is poorer. Sorry.
No. Go ahead, Pete.
The world is poorer for not getting Javier Bardem as Frankenstein.
Oh my god!
Let me tell you something.
Almost had Johnny Depp as the fucking Invisible Man.
I know you guys talked about it already, but Javier Bardem in Dune was one of my favorite characters.
Yes,
he's so good. He's such a good actor.
So good. That scene where he does the spit
Oh, Pete hasn't seen it, but
I haven't seen it, but
yeah,
I mean,
he hasn't seen it.
I wouldn't even know it.
Oh,
anyway.
I'm sorry.
But,
no, he just.
You'll see.
That was such a hilarious scene.
That was one of the lighter points of the movie.
Jason Momoa was like, no, hold, wait for it. How weird does Jason Momoa look when he shaves?
It looks different.
You know what? I can't say it out loud out of fear that he'll whoop my ass. But yeah, it is.
No. It doesn't look bad. I'm just saying, like, he actually looked. The beard actually slims his face. Because when he didn't have it, I was like, oh, this. For a second, I actually wanted to know what it was that was so different. I'm like, wait, oh, he shaved.
Yeah, and I will say though, Pete, because I'm a huge Rebecca Ferguson fan. This movie made me fall even more in love with her. Oh my god, I fucking love everything Rebecca.
Was it her voice?
Bro, it's just her aura.
The joke. Her voice.
No. I know what you meant, but I didn't want to lean into that because, like I said, Pete hasn't seen it yet. But yes, but no, I just.
Right after
but Pete, you never saw the original Dune?
I haven't.
I mean, first of all, you're not missing anything. Do not, and I wouldn't even attempt to.
See, Pete, didn't I tell you that? Didn't I tell you?
Don't even try it.
I
mean, it's not like I was going to try to watch the miniseries. I was just going to watch the movie.
HBO Max had it. I don't know if they still have it, but HBO Max had it at one point, I think. And I think that's how I tried to watch it sometime earlier this year, maybe late last year. I can't remember what it was. Oh, no. I got it in 15 minutes. Nope. Couldn't do it.
Dune is so bad, Family Guy made fun of it, and people still didn't understand. They didn't understand what the joke
reference
because no one saw the fucking movie.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, though.
They're like, I don't know.
Brolin's dad was in it, right?
I think so, yeah.
Because that's the connection that I made from the original. I'm pretty sure James or Josh.
I think
James.
James is the dad.
Yeah.
Josh is the son.
Josh
is Thanos.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I said the right way. Yeah, I'm pretty sure James Brolin is in the original Dune.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, guys. That's all we got for you today on this episode of Figure It Out. I want to give a huge shout out to JD, who wanted to do this episode and talk toys so much. I had a prior engagement. So hopefully we get a whole bunch of toy news next week so he can fully geek out. But look, JD, Pete covered it for you, bro.
I did get my best. I did get one thing.
Oh, pretty.
That's
wanted to get the it comes with the little where is he? The little guy.
It opens?
Well, it comes with like a little small little die-cast metal Batman.
Oh, so it doesn't.
No, it opens. I mean, this opens. So I think this slides like that. I don't think you can fit him in because I don't think
it opens, but you can't put him in?
Yeah, I know. It's stupid. Can you bend him? No, you can't bend him. No way you're bending him.
No.
I still to this day don't
like
I still to this day, that's my favorite way a Batmobile opens.
Still flip like that, where you see the gun right here. So those flip. The trunk opens. You know.
Does it roll as rolling things should?
It should. Yeah, it does.
Wheels.
As rolling things should.
It's cool.
They got Amazon has a $200 one for like 6-inch that lights up.
Yeah, I'm good.
I was gonna buy that, but it's just too massive.
I wanted the Lego one, but Brett fucking things like $50
I've never ever got into Legos, and every time I see like the cars, the vehicles, the Legos and stuff like that. In fact, I was looking for the original Batwing that I had when I was younger from '89, the diecast one.
Yes,
which you can get, but they were showing other ones, the Lego ones, and I'm like, well, I don't want that because they always fall apart.
Yeah,
you don't not necessarily.
I love
it to the side and they don't fall apart anymore. They just put it to the side. Don't touch it.
Yeah, but then you can't play with it.
You want to play with your Lego?
Joel, I did not spend 6 hours putting that shit together.
There are people that go even above and beyond. They glue that shit together so it doesn't. They glue it as they build it.
That's what I would do.
Yeah.
I've always treated Legos the way me and Pete always talk about Transformers. Once that shit is done, it is done. Once it's built, it does not get unbuilt. It does not get swapped.
With my Beast War toys, once a year,
my dad
I would take them out and transform them all on my bed, all of them, and then I'd go back, retransform them, and put them back. It was a very long process.
I'm just saying that should be a Figure It Out episode, like once a year.
Where we try to assemble Transformers?
Well, just Joel sitting on his bed, just playing with his Transformers.
My dad gave my brother.
It's in the back of the fucking basement. I swear to God, if they start selling Beast Wars toys again, I might buy them again.
I don't know if it's gonna. I don't know if the
but
picture's
only
gonna
Joel
show.
if you put them together. But go ahead, Joe.
No, I don't know if the picture's gonna show it. But my brother John was here. I told you on Tuesday, right? But he was also here over the weekend. And when every time he goes to my dad's now, my dad gives him shit to take, and he gave my brother a picture. Oh wait, where the fuck did he put it? Oh, there it is. He gave my brother John to bring to my brother Mike's house to the my brother's twin boys.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to see in here, but it's a whole.
Put it in the group.
I think that's actually a Lego case. It's a whole case filled with GI Joes.
Oh shit!
The original GI Joes, and I originally asked him for it, and then when he said, "Well, no, Dad said to bring it for our nephews."
Don't let the children near that. There are new GI Joes for that.
Wait,
just thinking the same.
When you showed me that, this is how much I love Pete. This is all I pictured in my head. Pete just disappears. Reappears with the whole tub of GI Joes.
Yeah.
And you get a phone call, Joe. It's just like, this crazy man just ran in the house. Oh, my GI Joes. And you're like, shit, that was Pete. Don't even worry.
First of all, Joe. First of all, the original O-rings and the crotches are entirely too unstable at this particular juncture. The children cannot play with these things. Second of all, if my eyes deceive me, the fucking one on top of there just might have been payload, and that's a $300 figure. Do not let the children near them.
Well, I thought I saw Cobra Viper. I also isn't the yellow one Cobra Viper? That one? I mean, it's a back. I don't know.
That's
who that
a Python Patrol Viper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but look, Pete makes a great point. I still have it was bought for me. It was bought for me for Christmas. This Batman. It's I can't remember what company makes it, but it's a Batman, right? And the cowl's on. And someone let their kid open this Batman, and he takes the cowl off. Now, mind you, the cowl's not meant to come off. So I'm staring at a Bruce Wayne with half a fucking cowl on. And that shit's worth money, bro. So that's why I say I hate children. I don't want children. And children aren't allowed here. Because every day I look at him and I'm just like,
Joe, drop that picture in the group chat. I'll be able to tell you what you have there.
Put it in the group chat. With the location.
Pete, I'll tell you exactly what I have. Nothing.
You need to get it, Joe. This is your assignment. You need to get a hold of that before the children get their grubby mitts on it.
I was like, John, give it to me, please.
Joe, here's the thing. If you don't want to do it, just put it in the group chat with the address, and me and Pete will handle
it. Nah. I gotta save it. I'm gonna save the photo now. I'm gonna put it in the group chat.
Dude, I'll go pee on that and be like, it's mine now.
If I'm not mistaken, though, too, if I can remember correctly, because I mean, this case is so old. I think there's even old Street Fighter toys in there.
The Street Fighter GI Joes, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh god, they're so hilarious.
They're not like those.
All right. Let's get out of here before me and Pete try to commit crimes.
Whatever.
I want to thank JD again. Not thank JD. I want to give a shout out to JD again. I want to thank Joe for joining us. I know you had to primarily miss some of the football game. We appreciate
it's all right. I don't think I'm winning that money anyway. So.
Joe.
But make sure you guys tune in. We will be coming all together as a collective for
Whoa!
Joe
What?
Yes.
Which word?
It's a party now.
But if we got to do a circle jerk, whatever,
All right.
Anyway.
I bought that raincoat.
You brought it up, bro. You brought it into here. I wasn't even thinking it, but anyway.
You brought it to a dark place.
You did. Anyway, we'll be coming together. We'll be joining Joe tomorrow for Joe's Live. Joe, talk a little bit about it.
So we'd talk about the one at 8 o'clock. I'm assuming that's the one where everybody's going to go to, right? Okay. So at 8 o'clock tomorrow, hopefully you guys can make it. And some other people I know are also going to join around 8 p.m. because we are doing our Dune spoiler review at 7. So in case that runs over, because sometimes we do like to talk a little longer than we like to. But it should end by 8. So at 8 o'clock, we're going to be doing our top 5 sequels that are better than the original.
So each person is coming up with 5?
Yes. So it's going to take forever.
Okay. Fantastic.
Yeah.
I'll make sure I don't talk much. I got you. I understand what you were trying to say. I got you.
I was talking about all of us. I just extended the show like 20 minutes. So
with me, it needs to be 2 hours. Anyway, but make sure you guys tune in. I'll be promoting it like crazy on Instagram. Whatever Joe posts, I'll be reposting. So just make sure.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely, brother. And thank you to Joel. It's Knicks night. So whenever we can get Joel on the Knicks night, it's an achievement.
Go New York, go New York, go.
Absolutely. And Pete, as always, brother, I'm always glad to have you on there. By the way,
Pleasure,
if you
man.
guys have not seen it, go to Pete's Basement on YouTube to check out their review of Squid Games.
Yes, I just dropped the Squid Game review yesterday. I also managed to finally, after about a week and a half of editing this bastard, the tour of New York Comic Con is up, and I have to say I'm very proud of it. It looks really good. There are so many transitions, just left and right and up and down.
No, it was good though.
Fades and
it was good though, Pete.
Man. Thank you,
I liked
sir.
it. I only watched a little bit of the Squid Game. I haven't seen it. That's why I didn't want to watch it.
Yeah, no, it's a super spoiler review, so stay out of that if you want to watch the
I just finished
show.
it. I checked out the review, but GVN does make a cameo in
yes,
GVN, not GVN, New York Comic Con.
Right in the beginning, man, and you are thanked in the credits as well.
Yeah, I saw that.
And make sure you stick around for the after credits. There's always outtakes whenever I can pull them off in the videos.
Nice.
And at the end, before Halloween, I aim to get this shit up. I might just film it tonight. I'm doing a top 5 horror comics that you've probably never read. So these are not like super mainstream stuff, not like Harrow County or anything like that. These are just some obscure shit that I happen to find really entertaining. I love my scary stories and stuff. So gonna get that up sometime before Halloween.
Respect, sir.
Oh yeah, I'm down for that. All right, guys. So you got a whole bunch of stuff to check out. No excuses. And I just dropped an interview with Ernie Altbacker, the writer of numerous DC animated movies. We had a very fun chat. Very, very, very good guy. I want to thank him so much. And also, Tia's video on YouTube is killing it right now. She interviewed, this is a dream interview for her, the cast of Narcos Mexico. Specifically Scoop McNairy. So Tia is she's loving life right now. So make sure you guys go check that out. That's at 200 something views already. And she just dropped
Jesus.
So go check that out. Tia's killing the game. And again, we want to give a very special shout out to Toytastik for sponsoring this episode of Figure It Out. Again, I'll be putting all the information down in the I guess, do they call it YouTube's bio? Is it the bio? Like
the
description. Yeah.
Fuck, I can never remember that word. I've said bio 900 times.
No, description.
In the description. God. Okay. Right. Goodness gracious. Anyway, thank you guys, and we will see you next week. Next week is also Eternals week, so stay tuned. Me, Tia, Dom, Joel, possibly Joe, Pete. You're gonna wait until you see Shang-Chi before you see that, even though
I respect that.
Possibly Joe. What are you talking about?
No, to do the review.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What was that? Because we're going to see it together. We're all watching.
We're gonna go see it.
Right,
together.
we are going together.
But I mean, the review.
You're gonna sit next to me. You said, right?
Yeah, I'm right next.
Yeah. Oh, you said you sitting next to me.
Yeah, right next to you. My dad was upset because he wanted the seats were selling out fast. So by the time he went to go check out a seat, he was like, "All right, give me a ticket." And I was just like, "All right, cool, but just know you're nowhere near me." He's like, well, "That's the problem."
You're in the front row.
I said, "No, it was really good seats in the same row, just not next to me."
Gotcha.
He did not like that.
Why don't you can have my seat?
No. It's okay.
You sure?
All right. It's okay.
Right.
It's okay. All right, guys. We will see you next week, but also stay tuned. We will be breaking down the Eternals. And me and Joel will be experiencing that end credit scenes for the first time. We didn't get it in our screens. Yeah, we didn't get it in our screens.
They screwed us. They screwed us bad.
Anyway, stay tuned, guys. Until next time, peace.
Salute.